didn't turn it down quite enough. Hello everyone, welcome to another Chud Watch. How are you all doing? I'm sure you can see we got a maid day and we have one more banked, so tomorrow will also be a maid day. If you didn't see, I got my shelf completed that I was restoring, so all my sci-fi stuff is here, along with some D&D memorabilia from a campaign I was part of. Yesterday we did a PO unboxing, and I was sent a bullet crown, not from Peter, a fan did it, and it's glorious. So this is now in the rotation of hats off things, is the bullet crown, but today I am wearing the cat outfit, so no hats off unless it's compatible, and I think this isn't compatible with the ears, unfortunately, because I have a rather large head. 93% to level 1 on a hype train. Let's see what I missed in the chat. Let's see. Cosmic Cats, thanks for 32 months, says, hey everyone, stream time, let's go. Woo! Get Deformed, thanks for 36 months. Oh my god, is that a sub baby? Another sub baby. This baby's name is going to be Garbanzo Bean Boy. Garbanzo Bean Boy. It's not my best. That kid's gonna have a rough life. Sanders, thanks for gifting a sub. 93% to level 1. How much did you miss? I literally just got on the screen. So all you missed was a gif of Gina dancing to some copyright-free music. Stromboli says, good news, Hannah. Wifey got her citizenship test finally scheduled for next month. After 10 years, she'll soon be able to bash this shithole country as much as I do. That's the best part about being American. Just talking about how shitty America is. Bittergrin, thanks for gifting a sub, getting us over level 1. Will I wear the bullet crown when I talk to Peter at some point? Of course I am. Of course I am. I should actually check and see how he's doing. Let me see if he... I'm gonna turn the screen off for a second. And I'm gonna see if he messaged me. Because we've messaged a few times. He says he's interested in coming on again at some point, but you know how it is. No, last time we talked was on the 13th. So, still waiting to hear back from him if he ever wants to. If not, cool. But I do think it'd be fun to catch up. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for 50 bits. To be clear, I didn't make the shelf, I restored it. It already existed. I just sanded it, restained it, sealed it, and also, of course, when I was done with the sanding, I fixed some of the hearts, because there's like heart cutouts. But I have another one that I'm going to be working on over the next couple months that matches, so we'll see how that goes. I used glossy finish, too. I think the next one I might use, matte, and I know this is gonna, some of the shiny is gonna knock out over time, just with, like, micro abrasions and stuff, but, like, I don't know. I think I would have preferred the matte. I should have gone with the matte, but I'm out of the polyurethane anyway, so. 27%, to level 2 on the hype train. I wish I had I have a before picture somewhere of the shelf. I'll have to show you guys sometime when I can find it. Oh, it also had that thing, you know, old-timey furniture? That over the scroll holes, it had, like, rounded dome end caps? I hate that shit. It's too conspicuous, so I sanded those down and it's flat now on the sides. So that's nice. Sent it in chat a while back. I sent, I think, a mid-picture. Open fan mail yesterday? I did yesterday. Yes. I did. Wait, were you the one that did the crown? The glorious, glorious bullet crown? I know I have the notes here, but I get it confused in my head. Hope this note, gift find you well. Oh no, the click poster. You did the click poster. Thank you. I do have to find a frame for it. Oh, thanks, right said Rob. I had not the funnest morning. I was quite ill because I ate a bunch of cheese last night with my dinner. To be clear, I didn't just eat a bunch of cheese, I was eating tacos, but they were extra cheesy, I'm not gonna lie. I maybe overdid it on the cheese on my tacos. And I forgot to take my dairy aid. So I was literally for like 4 hours this morning just doubled over in pain. I have very, very bad reactions to dairy if I don't prepare for it with medication. So yeah, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. Have I seen the movie The Good Son? Yes, with Macaulay Culkin. I might own that one. I'm not sure though. Maybe not. Maybe I just added it to my list lately. Either way, I like The Good Son. Including cheese? It depends. Like Parmesan's normally fine, but if it's like if it's a cheese with a higher fat content, higher moisture, it tends to seem worse. Ice cream, I have to do dairy aid. As I've gotten older, it seems like the bar's getting like lower and lower for what I can handle though without the dairy aid, so I probably just need to start taking it anytime I eat cheese, which is sad, but it is what it is. The dairy aid works great though. It's called Lactaid as the name brand, but there's like, you know, generics. It's pretty good. 33% to level 2, I just noticed. 30 seconds left on the hype train. Don't let it die, chat. It's a Monday. It's Chud Watch. It's the first of the week. How could you let this die? Yeah, look into the dairy aid. It's called Lactaid again, or there's other things to call it. It's helpful. Like, I don't even mind, like, non-dairy ice cream. Non-dairy ice cream's pretty good. What I don't like is, non-dairy cheese. Yeah, the fake cheese is still not good for some reason. Wow, that was last minute. That was a team effort. Choking Ouroboros, Bumble Homestead, and M. Scheffler. Thank all three of you for the last minute gift subs that complete level 2 and saved the train. Thank you very much. Oh, I feel so much better now. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm good. Anyway, so while this hype train's going, let's get into some shorter stuff, I guess. Maybe some of these Chud TikToks, those are always fun. 14% to level 3 on the hype train. Excessive Observer with 39 months says there are also lactase drops, so you can make your own lactose-free cream cheese, sour cream, heavy cream, etc. Oh, that's cool.
Good morning, TikTok. It's been a while since I've been on
Hold on, is that a little quiet, or is that fine for you guys?
here, but I am royally fucking pissed, and I don't give a fuck what TikTok says about my language. I am sick and tired of this government doing what they're doing. Now they want to raise our water and our sewage again. Second time. I'm fed up.
Is your water and sewage even done by the government? Because, like, where I live, it's municipal, but where I used to live, it was a private company. So it kind of depends. Like, are you even complaining about the right thing? Spoilers, she's not. She's gonna blame Joe Biden, even though even municipal water stuff is a local issue, not a federal issue. But, you know, we're grading on a curve here. They're right-wing, so... Moira Soma, thanks for 27 months. That's another sub-baby. This sub-baby's name is going to be... Pontification Mildred. Pontification Mildred. It's kind of a mouthful. Lurch6719 says, did I do it right? You did! Thank you for the bits. And first name bunch of numbers, thanks for gifting a sub, getting us over level 3.
I need some hackers. We need some hackers to hack into that fucking weapon that they burned in Hawaii.
Oh, she thinks it's a space laser issue. I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't think during my lifetime fictional space lasers were going to become such a hot-button political topic. I kinda, you know, I always knew I was gonna disagree with people, but I was kinda hoping as an adult that the things I would disagree with them about were, like, real things that exist in the world and not fictional sci-fi space lasers. But here we are.
Come on, hackers, where you at? Y'all can get into this weapon and point it straight at that fucking White House.
Again, threats to the president aside, are you under the impression that the federal government, the president, has anything to do with the price of your municipal water and sewage bill? Again, that's a local issue. At best, it's a state issue. Like, what do you want here? You want subsidies? You want to get rid of privatization if it's private? Okay, those are left-leaning policies. Like, you're literally asking for help. You want safety nets and you want price controls or subsidies to make it easier for people, particularly low-income individuals, to be able to get things they need and be able to pay their bills. So, you want to kill the president for some reason? Speaking of which, I should probably put up Boxy. Took Boxy off for yesterday, but now we need Boxy yet again. Where are you, Boxy? Save us. There we go. That Boxy's retroactive. No one here wants to kill the president. Just pointing that out. Genuinely, even. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, I don't think she understands how things work. Tucker White says, with 37 months, wow. Says, I followed this fuck for well more than 3 years, but something Hannah does draws me back. It's my magnetic personality. I'm likable, I guess, or so I've been told. I don't understand it, but I don't have to understand it. I just have to wield it. Is that ominous? I was going for ominous. 34% to level 4 with 2 minutes left.
Incinerate these motherfuckers!
Oh, that's not very Christ-like. I don't remember any point in the Bible where... No. I can actually think of multiple times in the Bible where God basically, maybe not verbatim, but a little bit is like, incinerate those motherfuckers, so never mind. Okay, she's doing fine. JP Black says, they must think Biden is sneaking into their municipality, doing the snidely laugh, and personally raising their prices. He did flood the whole world, and then, there's Revelation, and there's also all the Egypt stuff, and yeah, there's Sodom and Gomorrah. There's some light incineration happening. I'm not gonna lie. The religion is not bereft of immolation. There's a juggle command. I'll get to that in a sec once we start the next video.
Distinguished and world-renowned attorney. You've
juggle.
Got distinguished and world-renowned attorney at law, Heiner Fuentes from Germany, among many other attorneys, lawyers, doctors, and so on, that have put all the perpetrators of this C-19 lie pandemic on trial. And they've gone through...
Why would a German court case have anything to do with you? Or if the person is a German lawyer, they can't operate in the United States. So what are you talking about? 45 seconds left on the hype train.
A people's court to find them guilty, all with judges and everything else. Problem is, nothing's going to happen. Nobody's going to get arrested. Nobody's going to get punished for it. Nobody's going to lose their livelihoods. Nobody's going to lose their lives. Nobody's going to lose their assets.
Right, because they're fine. You're a conspiracy theorist who believed a bunch of videos on the internet about a nefarious conspiracy instead of understanding the reality of the pandemic. So that's a you problem. Other people don't have to lose their livelihoods or go to jail because you're a fucking idiot. Atheist Brony says, I'm now imagining Joe Biden with a stereotypical evil mustache and going around to red counties saying, Dark Brandon powers activate, and water bills go up. Every time you guys say, let's go Brandon, it goes up again. Anonymous, thank you for gifting, wow, a tier 3 sub. That's a making it rain sub. God damn, 36% to level 5. Multiple close calls in this hype train, but I appreciate people like jumping in. Thank you for supporting the show. Oh, by the way, I mentioned this in earlier, sometime last week. Next month, I am planning on doing a subathon. There's a channel on the Discord for suggestions for like different tiers and stuff. So if you have any suggestions for the next subathon next month, go ahead and go to the Discord.
Nothing is going to change.
Oh, and also the rules are going to be, I will stream during the subathon 8 hours a day, every day. Unless an emergency happens, of course. But I will do 8 hours, because before what I was doing was just doing it until I was, like, exhausted and went to bed. You know? It's a thread in general. Cool. Thanks, Halloween Town. And that burned me out so quick, so I need to, for the longevity of this, it's like I was trying to sprint. It's like I was trying to sprint my way out of the subathon. And that's not the strategy. Holy fucking shit, Purple Pondini. God damn it. How you doing? Thank you. I need to treat it like a cross-country, you know? It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So I need to pace myself 8 hours a day during the subathon every day. That'll give me a little time to, like, eat and get my bearings and shower and stuff in the morning. And at night, I can, like, sit down for maybe an hour or something before bed, read a book or something to calm down, and then get rest. So, that'll be good. Jesus, Purple Pondini, thanks for 10,000 bits. Because you're just nuts and have all the bits in the universe. Thank you. Hydrate. Isaac Inanimate says, cat maid, cat maid. I am a cat maid. And Tucker White says, subathon implies the existence of a domathon. I couldn't do a domathon. I can't even pretend. 98% to level 7.
These people that committed crimes against humanity are going to get away with it, whether you find them innocent or guilty. Nothing is going to happen. Nuremberg is a farce because it was supposed to be a trigger to protect from tyranny, especially global tyranny, in the future.
I see.
Since World War.
If you want more, like, global agreement and action in terms of punishing war crimes, which isn't the things you're describing anyway, you're just a conspiracy theorist, but if you really wanted that, then maybe you should lobby the United States government to respect, you know, the power of the Hague. Because as of right now, the United States' position on the International Criminal Court is that if a United States citizen or anyone gets taken to the Hague, they're going to invade the country, which, you know, isn't very in the spirit of international war crimes law. Starry Beauty, thanks for 200 bits. 2% to level 8. Wow, this train got crazy.
War 2, guess what?
Thanks again, Purple Pondini. You're like a little bits angel that just comes in and throws money at me.
It's not working. All this talk about Nuremberg 2 trials. Nothing's going to happen. I'm not trying to be discouraging. I'm just trying to insert a dose of reality that nothing's going to happen. And even if, at the end of the day, you found everybody guilty and there's going to be arrest warrants and whatever else, they've got...
Arrested for what?
So much backing, power, protection. I'd like to know how you physically will remove any of these people. Trudeau, Macron, Gates, any of them.
Yeah, there's a voice modulation thing going on here.
Would I love to see it happen? Absolutely. They all need to be in prison. They all need to be hung publicly. This is what needs to happen. But it will never happen. So, the only people I can take the power back is you and I, the people. The only way we can...
Oh, this was all a wind-up for you to call for violent acts. Cool.
Do that is to come together. To force their hand and those that control them. And I think it's time we do that, because if we do nothing, then we're doomed to their plans. And we know what their plans are all about.
What are their plans all about, sir? Please, I'd like to know what flavor of crazy you are.
Does it involve you? So, just stay positive, stay encouraged, and stay collective, stay together.
Check Discord
Lead on each
DMs,
other.
tweet.
Ideas, plans, contingency plans, and the like. This is what we need to do. And we need to gather.
Hold on, I gotta open this link so you guys can see it. Dark Brandon powers activate. And then you can see the water prices go up. Clearly. That's beautiful. I like that you gave him like a Snidely Whiplash mustache. That's attention to detail. Why is he using a voice changer but not a face changer? So many of these people wear a silly mask and don't alter their voice. It's weird to see someone do the inverse. He might just think it sounds cool. I don't know. Stromboli says, Sobsit cleanse. Sorry if it's a repeat.
What you simp?
No, I actually haven't seen that. It's only 30 seconds, so we can actually watch that right now. Cool. It's actually funny. I had a video up today anyway that was kind of a Sobsit thing, but I really want to watch it. I don't know if we'll watch it today, but Glenn's back. Do you guys remember Glenn? Glenn Serio auditing the USA? He's back. For real. And he's harassing firefighters, because why not?
charges that are brought against the defendant by way of a grand jury.
Lucid one moment, utterly off the wall the next. Ferguson's opening statement gives jurors a taste of what is to come.
There were 93 counts to that indictment. 93 counts, only because it matches the year 1993.
Oh boy.
Had it been 1925, it would have been 25 counts.
No! Don't commit as many crimes as the year is if you feel that way. Oh, there's Glenn. You can see his little head poking up. 45 seconds left on the hype train. This hype train went on way longer than I thought. I don't know the context for that video. It was sent to me. It's just some other sovereign citizen speaking nonsense. Oh, they think Kamala
Is it just
isn't...
me, or what is this creature that doesn't breathe and has fish gills or something weird?
Oh my god, have you never met someone who's like over... I don't know how old Kamala Harris is. I'm not gonna guess. But yeah, your skin loosens as you get older.
Shut down, our businesses are closed, our schools were robbed of so much, and today, COVID no longer controls
Wasn't he told to stop making videos? I think he was told to stop getting in trouble.
our lives. And 2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threat to the Civil War, and today, though bruised...
She's 58, yeah.
Our democracy remains...
Like my grandparents have some of that going on too. It happens when you age.
unbowed and unbroken.
Wow, thanks for that crazy hype train. Thank you, everyone. It's just weird to me that I even have to spend time talking about people who think that aliens or reptoids or whatever, you know, are controlling the world. It's not good. It's not good. I did see this. This was kind of funny. I believe this is a trans woman who kept getting misgendered, so she started using, like, he, him pronouns or something at TERFs. I don't remember the specifics. Just watch it. It's funny.
So, a lot of TERFs on Twitter have an issue with me identifying as a man now, and I'm kind of confused by that because they were the people that showed me the path of enlightenment, you know? They told me that God intended for me to be a man, and now I'm being the best man that I can be. And I especially don't understand because a lot of these women classify themselves as traditional women. And so if you're a traditional woman, why are you talking back to an alpha male?
Kingdom Reborn, thanks for 31 months.
Why are you mansplaining to an alpha male? I just think that's extremely masculine behavior, but I can't even say I'm surprised because TERFs act like men all day long on Twitter. They're constantly bashing other trans women. Not that I identify as a trans woman anymore, but you did bash me as well at one point when I identified that way. And now you're still judging me? When I'm a man, when I'm an alpha, you have the nerve to talk or to say anything to me other than that my sandwich is ready. That's all I should hear from you guys.
Jesus. I used misogyny to fight the misogyny. Tucker White says, everyone's skin gets like that unless you're Sigourney Weaver, then you just get hotter with age. A lot of I mean, Sigourney Weaver, like, yeah, she looks great for her age, but I do want to point out, as a point of, like, I don't want people to, like, feel self-conscious about themselves, celebrities often have procedures done. Wealthy people in general do. My parents, or my grandparents who have some money, I think have had some work done to tighten some stuff. So if you get older and, you know, you don't look as good as Sigourney Weaver, whatever you consider that to be, don't feel bad about that. I'm not saying anything about her. Whatever she has done is her business. I'm just saying, don't hold yourself to the standard of people who can afford to, you know, go to a doctor and be like, let's make my skin look younger. Did I see the video of the neo-Nazi that challenged a Jewish MMA fighter? We're gonna watch that today. It's actually in the title of the video. Title of the stream, I should say.
Folks, hometown favorites, Glen Allen boys, I think they're 13.
But.
I don't even even know what that thing was. Alright, let's watch the Chud get, yeah, no. Oh, boy. So, I guess this is like a fan of Nick Fuentes, who is a Nazi, you know. Apparently he decided to get in the ring with a Jewish MMA fighter, and he beats the crap out of the guy, consensually. They agree to the fight, so this isn't like an assault or anything. It's just gonna be fun to watch, so let's check it out.
My little brother here is gonna troll. To my surprise, he DM'd me. Told me he's coming to town. He's my sparring partner for today. Why were you talking shit about Jews? Lesson has to be taught here about trolling.
He hasn't watched film on me. I have striking, I have power, I have the size.
Get him! Oh, sorry.
Some videos are just too good.
Finish it!
There's blood in this video. I think it's fine in the context of like a MMA fight or something like that. If not, I'll try and get around it. And not dwell as much as I possibly can. Can't say that, Phoenix. Sorry. That's TOS. You can't wish harm on people. You can't wish death on people. Twitch TOS. Don't do that.
A few days ago, some wimp on Twitter posted
You're fine. I forgive you.
a picture of his slim tricep. Said this is what every white nationalist should look like. This is what everybody who follows Nick Fuentes should look like.
He is also a Holocaust denier who...
Cassifel says, just before you keep going in on this video, there are two Chuds which get their asses kicked in this. The fighting is actually amazing, glorious, beautiful, incredible, consensual ass kicking.
advocate race war and, I kid you not, burning women alive in America.
Somebody tagged me and I commented, he built like a chopstick, definitely not a threat. Some guy jumped in the thread named Ben.
I think you can say you hope they have a bad day. I think.
And he said he's willing to come meet me to defend Nick Fuentes' honor and come spar with me. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever, come, no problem, bring the win from the picture too, and Nicholas Fuentes, we can all meet, I'll Venmo you some cash for the gas. For me, that's another troll talking shit online. To my surprise, he DM'd me, told me he's coming to town, and he would love to
I'll do my
take me
best,
up on
friend,
the
thank
offer.
you.
All of a sudden, it wasn't as mean-spirited as it was prior, it's all about respect. Respect, bro. What's up? You Ben?
Yep, nice to meet you.
Hi. He's my sparring partner for today.
You got no waiver?
Waiver is good, his sign, everything's good.
Ready to go.
Thanks for submitting it, Honest Noah.
Post come across Twitter. It was like critical of some.
What is it with people like this? John Doyle, Nick Fuentes types who wildly overestimate their abilities. Like someone like John Doyle, even though he's a shitbag, he's in better shape than me. Like, he could kick the shit out of me. But like, why compared to like an MMA fighter do any of these people think they could win? Do they think they have some sort of, like, weird Nazi superpowers? Like, how do they really think that, like, I'm gonna get in this ring and I'm gonna beat up this MMA fighter? Like, that's a level of, just detachment from reality that I don't understand. They just think they're special, magically. It's so weird to me.
Somebody who associates himself with America first and the political values that I value.
We all know that Israel controls the right wing. We all know that Jews run the world. We all
Yikerino's anti-Semitism, Batman.
know that they are not Christian. We all know they hate God.
As a defender of that, and as a former martial arts...
I fucking hate Nick Fuentes. In the next 10 years, Nick Fuentes has got to get arrested for some dumb shit, right? Like, it just feels like the trajectory of his career is nowhere to go but worse places for him. I do not see... I don't know, I just get the feeling that, like, white supremacist pieces of shit don't have a great retirement plan, you know what I mean? I feel like his career prospects are probably not that great. Cassifel says, oh, the caucasity, oh, the outrageous caucasity. And this is what's weird, too. I know there are, of course, people like John Doyle and Fuentes and, like, Gen Z and stuff. But for the most part, I think one of the things that has allowed them to bolster and be loud about these things is because, hydrate, there are tons of, like, boomers and Gen X people who have... how do I put this? They've made a coalition with, like, disgruntled, ignorant boomers, right? Well, once those people are gone, they're gonna be an even smaller portion of the electorate. I don't understand what they think the future of this is. They just look like assholes. Terradona says I give him less than 5 years before he's on the lam. Meek says, Nick Fuentes has de-radicalized. Let me invite him for dinner to my house. Destiny. Fucking Destiny, man.
Experienced trained person myself, you know, I just thought it'd be fun to come spar.
Who's Nicholas Fuentes? Tell me.
So, Nick Fuentes is the leader of America First.
I fucking hate women, like I just do. It's not a joke.
It's a political movement based on furthering Christian values in the United States.
By Christian values, you mean the domination of straight, cis, white, Catholic, or Christian men. I forget if... Is Fuentes a Catholic or Protestant? I forget. I know John Doyle's like a Catholic nationalist, but I don't remember if Fuentes is Catholic or not. M. Scheffler says, I love my family, but I'm not challenging an MMA fighter to defend their honor. Nick doesn't know and will never care about this idiot, and he's gonna get his ass kicked to defend Nick's quote-unquote honor, right?
We started talking on Twitter, right?
Yeah, no, I was just messing around. Yeah.
Oh, you were messing around?
Yeah.
You don't just... Like, are these people, again... Fuentes and John Doyle are... I think understand what they're doing. Does this guy really not understand that, like, hey, anti-Semitism and Nazism and white supremacy aren't just like a jokey ha-ha thing? Like, this isn't some shit-posting thing on the internet. You are actively a bad person. You are a horrible person. This isn't just like some sequestered part of your personality that you get to be like, oh, this is a thing I do on the internet, and it has no bearing on anything else about me. You're awful. You're an awful fucking person. This isn't some little thing. Go fuck yourself.
And I'm not a hateful person. I love everybody. You know?
I'm not a hateful person. Yes, you are. This is such... And I hate this shit. The crypto-fascist shit. Nick Fuentes, John Doyle, fuckers like that. You're cowards. You are fucking cowards. Because I have seen every single time that you say the shit you say and then you get actually directly questioned about it and you're like, no, we're not really like that. It's ironic, it's jokes, it's whatever. Fuck you. Own the things you believe, you fucking pussy. Unironically, you fucking loser. Look at me. I think you can tell my personality and the things I believe, because I'll fucking tell them to you, because I'm not a goddamn coward. Why do you care? How do you simultaneously hate people as much as you do, but also care so much about what they think that you are hiding your entire political, social ethos? Fucking losers.
First impression of seeing Ben in the gym. We got white pussy. Why were you talking shit about Jews on Twitter? Why were you defending Nicholas Fuentes?
Well, I think because of what he says is right. I mean, you can layer that.
Okay, so you're an anti-Semite. So you're an anti-Semitic, misogynist piece of shit. You're basically you're a neo-Nazi. Just say you're a neo-Nazi. Own it. Don't be a fucking coward. Own that you're a neo-Nazi. You're a piece of shit and everyone's gonna fucking hate you, but at least it'll be honest, you cunt. Tucker White says, I love the idea of career prospects in the field of right-wing dumbassery, like Prudential offers these losers a retirement financial plan. Like what happened to, Milo Yiannopoulos. He disappeared.
That behind a mask.
I mean, he denies the Holocaust.
I think it's more revisionist, so...
They're the same fucking thing. I am so tired of shitbags trying to rebrand themselves. Oh, we're not neo-Nazis, we're the alt-right. No, you're fucking neo-Nazis. You're not revisionists, you're fucking Holocaust deniers. Go fuck yourself. Stop it. Your problem is not marketing. Your problem is that your ideas are awful and wrong.
You know, not all aspects of it.
Like what?
Whether it be like numbers that might, you know, have been different over the years. You know, just things like that.
How much do you think people killed?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
He's explicitly praised Hitler.
You don't know?
I honestly don't know.
Can I give you a clue?
I mean, they say 6 million.
He says Jewish people should not be allowed to participate in the U.S. government.
The 6 million number, it puts more faces to the names. Because a lot of people know people that are Jewish.
There are faces to the names.
That is true, yes.
Basically, we're having something
Milo was canceled for being hetero.
like Taliban rule in America, in a good way.
Nick Fuentes' honor is on the line.
I know, you guys know on Tinfoil Tuesday I have a rule. I do not interact with, like, Holocaust denial conspiracies, because it's so disrespectful that I won't even, like, give it any airtime. Like, I don't do it. If it ever comes up, it upsets me a lot, and we usually move on after I get really fucking frustrated. It's just the most obnoxious arguments. The Holocaust is one of the most well-documented events in human history. Like, we have photos, we have interviews from survivors. There are still survivors alive. They were young at the time. But for decades and decades, go watch fucking Shoah. Go do literally anything and stop being assholes. Like, it's one of the worst things it's maybe I'm not gonna play a fucking game of measurement. There's not a winner here, it's one of the worst things human beings have ever done to each other. It's one of the most horrifying things humans have ever done. Ever. And you're just like, nah, I don't think it happened because it's inconvenient to my politics and the fact that I'm similar to the people who perpetrated it. You're awful. You're an awful, 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 awful person. Really. You need therapy. You need so much therapy, and your therapist is probably gonna hate you too, but you still need it. Jesus. Cassifel says, can we get more righteous indignation, Hannah? I enjoy this energy. Also, fuck this stupid fucking Nazi, fuck everyone who agrees with him, fuck everyone who defends him. Also, I hear Nick Fuentes secretly runs a gay catboy porn Discord server, and I cannot believe anything anymore. He's running a conversion camp? Oh god. He is absolutely gonna molest those kids. Holy fuck. I am familiar with Mooncat. Mooncat's great, and I've seen the Sobsit video a few times, actually.
Talked enough. I think let's start sparring. That's what he came for. He drove all the way. Let's go to the cage.
But apparently my little brother here is gonna troll. I hate trolls. Just make sure after this you post the time, you post the DM. I want to see how honest we're being.
Well, it's all respect. It's all respect. Well, I'm taking as many rounds as we feel like.
Would I be willing to cover Lost Cause Confederacy stuff? The Civil War is such a big topic. I do not have the background to cover it in any way proficiently. There are other channels on YouTube that do a really good job at that. Anton Shea Films has a series called Checkmate Lincolnites that's pretty funny that covers that. I wouldn't feel comfortable covering it simply because I do not have the in-depth knowledge to pull from. Like, I couldn't be like, oh, in Sherman's address here, I just don't know enough primary source information, or even secondary source. Like, I've seen the things about, like, I've seen the different, like, Confederate States, secession documents and constitutions that explicitly mentioned slavery is the reason and stuff, but, like, I just don't feel like... that's mine to debunk. Other people who are much more competent in that particular field can do a better job than me.
I'm primarily a striker. I said I did karate, taekwondo, mixed with it for 8 years. I got my black belt. I've never done a 5-minute round before, but...
Taekwondo equals McDojo. I don't know anything about fighting or mixed martial arts. I don't know anything. Everything I know about martial arts comes from either Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan films, I have many back here, or the Karate Kid films, which I'm just gonna be honest. I love the Karate Kid films, but they are not accurate to how anything works. When I was showing Baja Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, I think I thought of it this way, and this is what makes sense to me. In the Karate Kid universe, karate isn't necessary. Like, sure, it helps if you're strong and, like, have muscle memory, but in the Karate Kid universe, this is especially true in Cobra Kai, but it's very true in the movies too, karate is less of, like, a real skill you learn and more like the Force from Star Wars, where you just kind of have to let it take control and permeate you. That's how karate works, like the Force in the Karate Kid movies. Watch those movies again, and think to yourself, karate isn't a literal thing that you learn, it's like a force that's mystical. Those movies make way more sense. Because how did Daniel learn to be a fucking champion karate student in like a month? Even if it was like 3 months. Like, goddamn! Oh god, and Cobra Kai, too, has a lot of stuff like that. Kids learning very proficient martial arts very quickly. Yeah. M. Scheffler says, stop edging me and let me see him get his ass whipped. Hey. Calm down. I control the tempo here. I'm in charge.
C4 a lot. That's awesome.
What's up, bud? Hey, how you doing? Are you spawning?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you sign a waiver?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you did? Okay, perfect.
It's all good, you know, Twitter isn't real life, but hey, we're in real life now, and, you know, it'll be fun, you know?
Maybe you're gonna learn today that Twitter... I understand that Twitter is the internet, and the internet's the internet, but the people you're talking to are real people, and the things you say do reflect on you as a person and your character. It's not some separate thing that has nothing to do with you as a person. What is wrong with you?
You know, it's just,
Mr. Bit's message link might be better for after, though. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry about that. All you need to know about the Civil War as a Southerner. Let me see if I can find it. There it is.
Very few things in history are black and white. A lot of it is gray, and that includes the Civil War. It was actually fighting for states' rights.
States' rights to do what?
Excuse me, sir?
States' rights to do what? What did you want to use those rights for? You usually don't mention that part. I want to hear it. I wonder what you want to do with them.
Well, the Confederacy didn't want to be oppressed by the North.
Really? What were they preventing you from doing? What did they not want you to do?
Listen, my friend, there was more to it than slavery for why we made the Confederacy.
That is really, really interesting, because the guy who made the Confederacy, the vice president, said that was because they wanted to have slavery, and all the state constitutions said they wanted to have slavery, and they seceded the moment that the president got elected that was going to abolish slavery. Boy, the Confederacy sure looks slavery adjacent, at least. Now, anyways, states' rights do what?
You're ignoring our other concern.
Yeah, but among the concerns was slavery, so I don't care, because you deserve it, because you're evil. And slavery is evil. You should know this. By the way, could you answer my question, you fucking traitor? States' rights to do what?
Well, it's our heritage.
It lasted 5 years. The Annoying Orange has existed longer than the Confederacy did. The fucking Annoying Orange, dude. You're gonna celebrate a nation so fucking weak the Annoying Orange outlived it?
We're states' rights.
Got Douglas.
Each Dixie boy must understand that he must
fight his Uncle Sam away. I love that song. I actually listened to Union Dixie. It's just in my Spotify playlist. I just listened to that. That song fucking slaps. If you ever need some energy and you're like, fuck racist pieces of shit, Union Dixie slaps pretty fucking hard. I'd recommend it.
a kid. Probably a dumb kid.
Hannah's been Hannah longer than the Confederacy existed, right? Why aren't Southerners worshipping me? Why aren't... Oh, that joke almost went dark accidentally. Never mind.
Not gonna hurt him too bad, but, you know, a lesson has to be taught here about trolling. Education is painful sometimes.
He hasn't watched film on me. I have striking, I have power, I have the size.
This is a classic case of fuck around and find out.
Like, how? Like, just looking at these two guys, clearly the Nazi shitbag, like, the professional is clearly a professional. He looks confident, calm, he has a stance going, he clearly knows what he's gonna do, he's being patient, he's waiting. Oh my god, other guy clearly is just in over his fucking head, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, thanks, Two Genders in a Trench Coat. I'm too much of a sub for that, and I'm married, but I appreciate the sentiment. Maps and Mimic says, the Doritos Locos Taco from the Taco Bell has lasted longer than the Confederacy. That's my go-to. Piper says, I'm a Southerner, and I can confirm I do worship our cat-made goddess. Fuck yes. Everyone is... The South is so horny for me. Guys, did you know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days away from when I get to play Starfield and you're not going to see me for like 2 days? I'm sorry, I have brainworms about Starfield. I'm very excited. Like, literally, I think the day before Starfield, I'm just gonna annoy you guys with a stream that's all about getting hyped for Starfield. Don't worry, when I do the subathon, I'm sure there's gonna be days where I play Starfield with you guys, and you guys can help. We'll make a character together, and you guys can, like, help me, you know, make decisions or whatever. What do you mean, maybe less? Do you think they're gonna release it, like, early or something? Oh yeah, that's the nice thing about Starfield. It's on Games Pass. So if you have Games Pass, honestly, even if you don't have Games Pass, I think they have like a 15-day trial. It used to be a month. They dialed it down just recently, right before Starfield, because they're assholes. But if you want to try out Starfield... Oh, it's not on PlayStation 5. It's on PC and Xbox. I'll be playing it on Xbox. I have an Xbox One X. And a PlayStation 5. I don't have kids, so... No, but you can get the trial for, Games Pass, and, you can just play Starfield. It's gonna be a day one drop, so that's fun. To be clear, it comes out on the 6th through Games Pass normally. Don't get mad at me, I may be pre-ordered, and you get in, like, 5 days early for the pre-order.
Come on, buddy!
Immediately pinned. How's that guy's balls smell? Probably not great. How long will I spend on character creation? Probably an hour. Roughly. Say uncle! He's tapping. He's tapping. He was tapping. He was tapping. But I get it. I get it. Sorry, H-Baird. H-Baird said, remember, fascism is all about, quote, looking strong, not being strong, hence it appeals to weaklings. Every so often they start to believe their own propaganda, and hilarity ensues. Yeah. Gitara says, behold, the master race.
I'm tolerant. You what? I'm tolerant. What? I'm tolerant. Get him! Get him! Hey! Make him squeal! Make him squeal! No, don't. Ah!
Oh my god, they should have him fight one of the women here. Because, like, I guarantee any of these random women MMA fighters could beat the shit out of him, too. And that would be amazing! The guy getting beat up is a Nazi, yes. The guy beating him up is Jewish. I think it would behoove Bethesda to release... Just unlock character creation like a day or two early. That way you can fuck around in the character creator and create your character and then play the game immediately. Just a thought. Do Nazis accept redheads? Nazis accept... Here's the thing. White supremacist Nazi types will cast a broad net. They'll be like, oh yeah, we'll bring in token individuals, right? And then if they gain power, then the culling starts. Then the purification starts. The Night of Long Knives starts. You know what I mean? It's part of the strategy is to allow, like, a wider variety of people in. Still within a pretty, you know, small area, but still more than they would. And then once they get into power, they start culling people that they don't like from their ranks now that they're not useful to them anymore.
Hey, you got 90 to target. Oh.
Hitler thought redheads were criminals. Hitler thought a lot of things. You know, the movie Downfall's great, if you haven't seen it. That, spurred me, because I was curious. In the movie Downfall, if you don't know, it's a German, drama about the last, like, days of Hitler, you know? In the bunker, and then basically the last days of Nazi Germany, even after he, you know, does the thing he does in the bunker with his wife. It's a really good movie. But anyway, I lost my train of thought on this. Where was I gonna go with this? Anyway, it's a great movie. I'd highly recommend it. It's the best performance of someone playing Adolf Hitler I've ever seen, which is hard to do. Because especially in a drama, like this isn't, you know, in Inglourious Bastards, it makes sense to make Hitler more of a cartoon character. Because it's a heightened, you know, movie that's about extreme, like, violence and stuff. I get what it's doing. And I like that movie. But Downfall portrays Hitler as just this... It's a great performance. You can see the desperation, how pathetic he is, how out of his mind he's at by the end because of all the drugs and stuff. It's really interesting. I'd recommend it. Look Who's Back is actually pretty good, too. I do like Look Who's Back. M. Scheffler says, y'all ever see a cat play with a half-dead mouse?
Yeah, I can hear the crowd, all my teammates rooting for me.
Heavy on the body, Nathan.
Do it again.
Let's go, Ben.
Come on, Ben.
40 seconds.
Give him a pink belly. Give him a pink belly.
I like Jojo Rabbit. I did. That's a tough movie. There's some rough stuff in it, but overall I liked it a lot. I think it's a good satire of fascism as a whole.
Come on, finish it!
Oh, sorry. Keep going. No sorry. Shut up.
Sorry. What the fuck you mean sorry?
Shut up with that.
MH Darkbeast with 39 months says, howdy, Cat-Made Hannah. Praise be upon you. Congrats on getting the 4K release of the Disney Plus shows. Also, did you see that Kino is releasing Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS films we talked about in chat the other day? Also, did I see this? I'm excited about the Disney Plus shows. I don't know anything about the Ilsa stuff. I'm not really comfortable with Nazi exploitation shit, for obvious reasons. But, hey, whatevs.
The demon comes out when you expel it. The stronghold comes down when you demolish it with the Bible.
Oh, he bought a Barbie dream house to smash it with a... Okay. That's a very normal thing to do. Oh, they're releasing some of the Disney Plus shows on Blu-ray and 4K, they announced today. If anyone else is a Blu-ray fan like me, they announced they're releasing the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, they're releasing WandaVision, and Loki. I assume if these sell well, they'll follow up with some of the other shows. I have not seen... No, I've not seen any segments on Horrible Histories with Hitler, no. God damn, that guy's crazy. Sorry, I'm getting all over the place.
Get out! Get out! Oh, no! Oh, no!
You hate region locks? 4K has no region locking, so if you get a 4K Blu-ray player or a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox One X that plays 4Ks, you can get them anywhere. Farquad, thanks for 24 months. Happy 2nd anniversary.
Come on, do that shit again, Rudy!
5 seconds, finish him.
I'm gonna have to retire my bootlegs. Actually, I'll be honest. The cases for the bootlegs are nice enough, I might just put the official discs in the bootleg, in the bootleg cases.
Oh.
One more round.
Don't say dumb shit!
That's fucking man.
Okay. Good job, dummy. This is basically the fight. And sorry, Bumble Homestead, I'll get to him in a sec. Stop, he's already dead. Right? There it is.
Stop! He's already dead.
And Bumble Homestead said, I know fascists aren't the cleverest of people, but how did you think this was going to go? I don't know. Watch this after the video? Thank you, Cassville. Will do. If I can get the link to work. Why no work? There we go.
He's a real deal. I knew he was a real deal coming in. 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust.
Murdered.
Murdered in the Holocaust.
Okay, that's good. Now. Fuck Nick Fuentes.
Nick, I failed. I know you're not a striker or wrestler, but if you'd like to come, Nathan,
you got a big mouth, though. He came in, he was like, oh, I'm not a hateful person. I was just trolling online.
Here's the
Like,
link.
okay, so you're not a neo-Nazi, but you're still a troll. One lesson in life.
He's absolutely a neo-Nazi. You just beat him up, so he's pretending. He was pretending earlier, too. He's absolutely a neo-Nazi. Vinny, thanks for 23 months.
This
I
one
need to
wasn't
be
that
more
painful.
well researched, that's true.
This one wasn't that painful.
This one was not that painful.
The next one will be twice as painful.
Hey, did I at least got you with a couple good shots?
No.
A few moments later.
There's a couple guys talking shit on Twitter about Jews. So we told them to come to spar and they showed up and let's have fun.
I wanted to come down here, see what's up. Saw he gets his ass kicked, but that's fine.
This is where the blood comes in, I assume.
Everybody gotta learn.
Blu-ray players are region locked. 4Ks are not, in my experience.
I'm not defending Nick Fuentes, I'm defending my friend's honor.
Why would you defend your Nazi friend? Why are you friends with a Nazi? Ooh. I think he goes down. Yeah. I'm gonna stop the video there because he does give up and he bleeds. So that's...
What's up, guys?
That's the Nazis getting beat up. That's fun. Hopefully more of that. Legally with consent in the MMA ring. Obviously. Anyway, here's the video that Casville sent. Oh my god, it's Billy McFarland. He is the guy behind Magnesis and Fire Festival, aka a big grifter who went to jail.
What's up, guys? This is a big day.
I know he's trying to do Fire Festival too, isn't he?
Because as of right...
Because he's a fucking ass.
Now, Fire Festival 2 tickets are officially on sale.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess that's not gonna happen.
It has been the absolute wildest journey to get here, and it really all started during the 7th-month stint in solitary confinement. I wrote out this 50-page...
Why were you in solitary confinement for 7 months? Like, you're not a violent criminal, and I get it, the justice system is shitty, but I am so curious what the context for that is. Were you fucking with people in the prison? I assume you were in, like, a minimum security prison. You're like a... You're a white-collar criminal. Like, there's no way you went to a serious prison. Meek says, I think a lot of people are friends with Nazis because they don't take their views as seriously as they should, / treat it as just a game. That's fucked up. I cannot believe... every day I'm thankful that I seemingly got a pretty decent education. Like, at the school I went to. Schools, I guess, at least once I got outside the, fundamental Baptist thing in elementary. Middle and high school, and this little college I did, like, goddamn. I am thankful, because never once in my life, like, beyond, the age of a child, did I not understand the threat that, like, Nazis were. Like, I didn't have as deep and complex of an understanding as I do as an adult, of course, There's, like, layers that I could go through, especially now, with all my understandings of, like, conspiracies and propaganda, and how right-wing, like, nonsense conspiracy rhetoric to villainize their political enemies works. So I understand it in a more depthful, detailed way now. But even as a kid, I was like, holy fucking shit. They killed millions and millions of people, started World War II, like, I understand. How can you not get that as an adult person? Even a teenager, you should know. I'm so, like... I'm lucky in that I was able to... My class got to talk to a survivor of the Holocaust. We're one of the last generations that gets to do that. Even now, the ones that are still around were kids when they were in the camps, which still, I'm sure they have very vivid memories. But I'm just saying, like, soon there'll be no one left who experienced it. And people have already forgotten. Sucks. Sucks a lot. Force everyone to watch Showa. Showa's very good if you haven't seen it. Depressing. Like, I'm not gonna say... You probably don't do it in one sitting. But Showa's an amazing, like, 6.5-hour documentary. And it's in the Criterion Collection. I'm sure you can find it streaming as well. It's accounts from all sorts of survivors and interviews. It's a hard watch, but it is important. Fenekagami says, sorry I'm late, just got off work. Yay, Chud watch. Oh, Nazis, let's go. Ugh. I I feel like I've told this story before, but also just real quick. When I was, this was middle school when we got a chance to talk to the survivor, and there was a Q&A period after he just told his story, generally. Then there was a Q&A period, and someone asked a question which everyone cringed at first, but actually turned out to be a really interesting question, and someone asked, like, did you ever see Hitler in real life? And, we're all like, ooh, like, it's a whole country. Like, have you seen the president? Like, I understand that Germany at the time's smaller than, the United States, but, like, ew. But then it actually turned out, he had seen Hitler in person in parades and stuff. And it's just weird to think about. The banality, That's just the leader of his country that he saw in parades at one point, and that same leader put him and his family in a death camp. Sorry to get depressing. Just, fascism is scary. Take it seriously. It destroys everyone it touches, especially fascists, weirdly enough. It's self-destructive as well as destructive. Marcus Drake says, when I was in school I saw a talk from a survivor. She still hated Germans and said sometimes doctors told her to lose weight. She said respond that she's been hungry and cold once and neither would ever happen again. Jesus Christ. That poor woman. I cannot... I would imagine those doctors are shitty. That's not something I would ever say to... Yikes. Yikes.
Plan of how it would take this overall interest and demand in fire, and how it would take my...
The only interest anyone has in the Fire Festival is as a big disaster. There are literally 2 documentary movies that came out about this. Both of which were good, by the way.
My ability to bring people from around the world together to make the impossible happen, but how it would find the best partners in the world to allow me to be me while executing Fire's vision to the highest level. In my first year, I partnered with one of the biggest and best TV companies in the world to produce a documentary called After the Fire.
I've literally never heard about that. I've heard about the other Fire Festival documentaries. I've watched YouTube videos about the Fire Festival. I have never heard about what you were talking about. What are you doing? Is he just grifting people again? I know he was, like, out on... I don't know if it was, like, a suspended sentence or if he was just out on bail, but at some point I know that he ended up going to jail because he was scamming people again. Like, he had someone else... This is in the documentaries. He had someone pretending to be a different fake person, and he was using that person to grift people through. Weird. It's weird to me, these con artist types, that's just their whole life. I don't get it. Seems not very fulfilling. Briar Rose says he got solitary for trying to do a podcast from jail, according to him. Where did he get equipment in jail for a podcast? Was he just using his phone? Because I know some low-security prisons allow prisoners with good behavior to have, like, phones or whatever. Just depends. Seems weird. Weird choice on his part. Fennec Gami says, speaking of Nazis and the Holocaust, I got into an argument with a Chud over if the Nazis were left-wing. When I backed him into a corner and pointed out his own sources were refuting his point, he quoted a Nazi admiral that he got to talk to saying they were socialists, like that's an own. Why would I trust the words of a literal Nazi? I'm pretty sure there are 0 academics anywhere that would classify Nazism as left-wing. Like, that's insane to me, that anyone would... Like, they were fascists. They were fascists, and I get it. I understand that it involved co-opting a pro-worker sentiment, which is why it's called National Socialism, because originally it was sort of a competitor to socialism. It was a competitor to the rise of communist, socialist ideologies that were growing bigger in Europe at the time. So people who didn't like that, fascists, started calling themselves National Socialists as a brand to be like, no, we're similar enough. Come over here. Don't go learn about workers' rights or collective bargaining. Come over here. We're National Socialists. You want to learn about socialism, right? Wink, wink. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's like the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea. Like, The name doesn't really matter when you can look at their actions and they're like, opposite, huh? Cassifel says, my entire high school was able to speak to a Holocaust survivor. It was harrowing. I see people in my life deny the realities of it. Oh, say that the people, quote, inflated the numbers or don't allow Germany to tell the truth or shit like that. I'm disgusted to my core every time it happens. I once saw a person with their whole chest say, I think the Nazis were really bad, but I can't understand why we demonize them so much, followed by we can't dehumanize them. Literal brain rot. That's disgusting. I am so sorry that you have to deal with people like that. I would straight up not be able to talk to those people. I'd be like, you're disgusting. That's disgusting, and you need to go and think about this shit, because you're not talking to me until you get through this nonsense. I understand that's, like, not something everyone has the power to do, depending on their situation, their living situation, who we're talking about here, but wow. That's a nightmare. If I knew anyone who had that sentiment, I would be aghast. I would never stop yelling at them. Baha, thanks for 39 months, says 39 months sub to a cute cat maid. Thank you. That was actually cute. I am cute. God damn it. Jake, thanks for 1,000 bits. Profane Priestess with 50 says, one of the most chilling things I ever read about the Holocaust as a historian was an interview with one of Goebbels' secretaries. She insisted until the day she died that he was the kindest man she had ever met, and that even though she knew what was happening, she just never could bring herself to believe it because it was a good job and he himself was kind to her. Reading it turned my stomach, and sometimes I sit and think about it. Baha with the hats off. What do you want me to wear? Yeah. There's a framing device in the movie Downfall that also involves Hitler's secretary. Sort of the POV character for a lot of the movie. Can I add the glasses? I can. The movie's POV is primarily framed around Hitler's secretary, who was still alive at the time the movie was made, so there's, like, bookends with the real woman in a documentary context. It's just, I'm sorry, this is hard to even talk about. I feel like a century, and I understand why Nazis became a punchline. Often making fun of fascism is an effective way of fighting it. Mel Brooks does that in a lot of his work, or does. I don't know if he's still actively working. He's alive, but, you know. I'm thinking stuff... You've seen his work. The Producers is a really good example with Springtime for Hitler, which makes fun of the theatricality of fascism, and how ridiculous it is, and how fake it is, and nonsense, right? So that's an effective thing, but I also think stuff like Hogan's Heroes, not good. Not good. Turning Nazis into cartoon villains is bad because it strips away a lot of the things that are scary about fascism and Nazism in general. It strips away the fact that these people to you, like, let's say you're someone that they consider in your in-group. Let's say you're in Germany. You're a German who's, you know, isn't informed or whatever. You're fine with the Nazis because you don't really think about it that much or whatever stupid bullshit reason, right? You could probably have a conversation with someone who was a Nazi if you were not someone from a group they didn't like. And they might act really nice to you if they thought you were like a, you know, oh, you're a German through and through, whatever the fuck they would say, you know? People have a hard time understanding that people can be kind to you and still be awful. Like, people have a really hard time dealing with the cognitive dissonance of like, oh my god, that person isn't a raving lunatic, but they're evil. Our brains are so simple when it comes to stuff like this. We have a hard time dealing with, like, people can be charismatic, convincing, look empathetic, look like they are agreeing with your struggles, and still be hateful fucks. It's like recently, the guy in, I think it was Utah, who was shot. I don't remember if it was by the Secret Service or the FBI or what it was, but he had posted really threatening messages about Joe Biden. Like, and not just, like, the typical conspiracy stuff. It was the FBI. Thank you. Because you guys know I look at conspiracy stuff all the time. There's a lot of stuff that I see that's threatening, but non-actionable, you know? It's kind of like, how do I put this? It's like saying to your therapist, I have ideation, but I have no plans of putting it into action. I have no actionable plan. You know what I mean? It's like you're saying a vague thing about how you feel, but you're not saying you're gonna do the thing as to not get locked up for 72 hours. Some of you know what I'm talking about. This guy wasn't doing that. This guy was outright like giving specifics, what he was gonna do, where he was gonna do it, all sorts of dumb stuff. And then the FBI showed up to his house a second time. I think they had already seen him once. And he greeted them pointing a gun at them, which I don't know if you know anything about the FBI or any cops. They don't like you pointing guns at them, and they will shoot you. So he was killed. You know, I think that was justified given the situation, reading his posts and seeing the kind of person he is, and the full body armor he had, and the guns he had. Yeah, I get it. He basically, he Ashley Babbitt'd himself, basically. Anyway, after that, his neighbors came out, and some of them were like, oh, he was the sweetest guy, he was so nice, he was just a doddering old man, and it's like, please understand that people have different facets to themselves. People show different faces to you versus other people. If someone likes you, they're going to treat you a certain way. That doesn't mean they like everyone or are kind to everyone. Like, think about it this way. Hitler had a girlfriend. Hitler had a girlfriend who he married in the bunker. You know what I mean? Like evil, fucked up, disgusting, monstrous people can put on can act like human beings, and Hitler was a human being. Despite being a monster as well, he was a human being and had the capability of acting relatively normal around people in his interpersonal relationships. It doesn't change the fact that he's a fucking monster. And I'm not saying this stupid-ass guy in Utah's Hitler, I'm just saying, in broad terms, don't assume just because you know someone and they're nice to you, that doesn't mean they're good in general or nice to everyone. Hitler did like Disney cartoons. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was his favorite. There are actually drawings that Hitler did of the Seven Dwarfs. Like, I know this is hard, but you both need to understand Hitler and the other, like, Nazis that were in charge of this stuff, whether it be, you know, Goebbels or any of these people. Sure, they're monsters, and it's good to say, like, these people were monsters. But monsters isn't the only thing. These people were monsters. You can be a person and be a monster. Both are true. One doesn't negate the other. So don't assume just because someone is nice, sometimes they're incapable of really fucked up stuff. Fenekagami says this guy was one of those chuds that think fascism, socialism, and communism are all the same and always left-wing. It's so funny to me, too, because you can even... I understand that, like, when we're looking at, like, a political compass, especially, like, the 2D one, you know, that's just, like, a graph. Obviously, that's an overly simplified, reductive way of looking at politics, and certainly the politics as they were in the early to mid-20th century aren't the same as they are now. There are similar factors in some cases, but, you know, the world is different. So it makes sense to, like, be like, is this ideology quite what we would consider it now? But, like, not with Nazism. Come on. Like, they're the example of fascism. They didn't even invent fascism, right? If it wasn't for Hitler, Benito Mussolini would be getting shit on a lot more. Mussolini is lucky that Hitler existed to give a different face to fascism, because holy shit. I guess he wasn't that lucky. Didn't Mussolini get, like, hung in a town square or something? Wasn't he, like, killed by, you know, just rando people who found him? Maybe I'm wrong, though. Anyway. They were socialist Nazis. They were killed during the Night of Long Knives. Yep. Don't team up with Nazis. H. Baird says, I think it started out as a socialist party. Hitler didn't actually start the party. He was hired... I know, but they took it over. They co-opted. That's a common trope of fascism, is to co-opt left-wing movements to try and collect some people who have maybe valid issues with the system and then convert that into really fucked up stuff. Anyway, instead he took over, attempted a coup, was sent to prison, later got elected, you know the rest. Jake, thanks for 17 months. Trump's bond has been set at $200,000 and he has until Friday to surrender to Fulton County Jail. Funny. And then Cassifel says they presented it as heightened acceptance, like super ultra lib disconnected from reality break brain, like they didn't want to be, quote, mean to anyone, they wanted the truth. They said, like, yeah, they murdered 6 million Jewish people, but they didn't, oh no. I don't even want to read the rest of that. That's fucking awful. Like, we have documentation about the horrifying torture and like, even calling it experimentation is fucking disgusting. That's not what it was. It was torture under the guise of science and experimentation. We know these things existed. We know it happened. People are sick. Harold Elbelman says, you're absolutely right about the nice-good dichotomy. In occupied Paris, the Nazis were famously polite and personable, especially when just asking questions or, quote, needing directions, and only later did someone realize that they were effectively collaborating with the enemy. The euphemism for them at the time was, les autres, the others, and I'll bet a lot of money that Sartre's famous quote from No Exit, Hell is Other People, is a veiled reference to dealing with them then, too. Ooh. Heathen Child says, even the devil can feel pity. I've always wanted to see an adaptation of that. I know I'm not going to spoil, I guess, I understand the hell is other people thing. I understand the themes of the show, but I've never seen any filmed version of it. Seems good. I like that kind of thing. Feels very Twilight Zone to me. Although I know it comes before the Twilight Zone. H-Bird says, a lot of people don't even think to check the morality of people or organizations. I've met people who talk about checking out American Heritage Girls or, quote, trail life. If you don't know what those are, they're created when the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts respectively started allowing gay and trans people to openly join. They're literally hate groups and people don't even realize it's something they need to check. A lot of people think politics is a separate thing that exists apart from everything else in their life. Like, there are people who'll be like, I'm not into politics. Alright, politics is into you. It's not something you get to divorce yourself from. It would be like saying, oh, I'm not interested in the weather. Like, okay, maybe you don't go online and look it up all the time, but you might want to know if you need an umbrella. You know? You might want to know the temperature outside. I get it. I understand people don't want politics overtly ham-fisted into everything, but they are already permeating everything we do. Oh, you're tired at the end of the day at work? You feel like you don't get paid enough? You feel like your boss is a piece of shit and treats you poorly and you have no recourse? That's politics. Oh, you can't afford to buy into a home and your rent is getting higher and higher? That's politics. You can't afford food because of inflation? That's politics. Like, all of these things have causes. Take 5 seconds to think about it. Here's the No Exit movie. Thank you. It's nice that it's on YouTube, too. 1964, No Exit, BBB adaptation starring Harold Pinter. Oh, nice. Check that out later. Thank you. Anyway, let's finish this Fire Festival thing. We got on a whole tangent about fucking fascism, which isn't a fun topic to cover, but it's something I always get into because it's so frustrating to me watching people make the same mistakes over and over again, and it's like, I don't even consider myself that, like, well-read of a person. I don't consider myself that, like, I'm not dumb. I can explain myself. I think about things, you know. I'm all right with myself, but I don't think I'm that learned. The bar is so low, and I can't believe that other people fall for fascist stuff. Like, it's literally, like, so obvious and so painful, and so much of it just feels like collective mental health crisis. I'm not trying to, forgive it, by the way. I'm just saying, someone mentioned earlier, I'll check the tip, thank you. Someone mentioned earlier, oh no, I lost my train of thought. What did they mention earlier? Okay, I forgot. Never mind. Fenekagami says, people thinking they can escape politics is super weird because Republicans have been politicizing everything. They politicized and partisanized a public pandemic, or a fucking pandemic, for God's sake. Oh, I was just saying, like, it's weird to me that it feels so many people fall for the same fascist talking points that were happening 100 years ago. Like, you can go look up, for educational purposes, a Hitler speech translated. You can read Mein Kampf translated. There's endless, like, if you want something more casual, there are endless podcasts and YouTube, like, well-researched YouTube essays about fascism, about Hitler and the ideology, but people just don't. They just think they know it through pop cultural osmosis. Nerdy Valkyrie, with a $5 tip, says, I work in tech support, and last week I had 2 separate users that had an issue in the systems because of name changes. It was notable because, based on the names, both were trans. It made me happy because we're more common than it feels sometimes. Actually, something similar happened to me recently. I called the pharmacy to get it's a good thing I don't need glasses, because holy shit, I like to... Yeah, like props. Anyway. Yeah, earlier in the week, I called the pharmacy to get a refill, and they noticed that I had an old account, which was my pre-transition account with a different name, and she was really nice about it. Like, she didn't mention my dead name, she just said, like, what was your old last name? Because I did have a different last name back then, which I was like, ooh, smart, good for her. Like, this is nice. And she was able to merge the information from the old account, so like my information on old prescriptions and stuff, while getting rid of the old name, and that's all the history is under my new account now, which is great. So, any people who work in, like, anything involving customer service, anyone who deals with any accounts of people, if anyone out there, like, proactively helps trans people, or even when asked, just be kind about it. That's wonderful. Thank you. That's such a small thing, it seems like, but really, it can make your day. It made my day. When people, like, when I know people are like, oh, this person is trans, and they treat me with respect and are helpful, that's always so nice. It's better than the awkward stuff. I'm sure other trans people here can probably... There's awkward times, too, where people, they're not malicious, but you can still kind of tell they're maybe taken aback. Like, I've been to Best Buy multiple times, and I have, like, a account at Best Buy that has, you know, rewards points and stuff on it. So, you know, I've been there multiple times, and, you know, they've been like, oh, this other name, blah, 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 blah. And then a couple times I've been like, oh, that was my old name. I'm trans. Just because sometimes, why not? And it's so funny. You can tell that they're not transphobic. But they, especially because they were young people anyway, which less likelihood of transphobic. But they were like, oh, like they don't know how to react. Like they're apologetic, but don't want to bring it up because they're afraid bringing it up. It's mean. Here's the thing I'm gonna love. I guess we'll see. And then MH Darkbeast says, we need a little cheer up after the heaviness. How did I miss this from our favorite Holy Grifter? Oh my goodness. Okay, we have multiple things to watch. Let's finish the Fire Festival thing and then watch these other ones, and we'll move on. I've gotten on such a tangent.
I've also worked with one of the biggest production companies to sign a deal to produce Fire Festival, the Broadway musical. And finally, today, we are announcing Fire Festival 2. We spoke to people as far away as the Middle East and South America, and ultimately, we decided that Fire Festival 2 is coming back to the Caribbean. We are targeting Fire Festival 2 for the end.
You're banned from the Bahamas, right?
Of next year, and in the meantime, we'll be doing pop-ups and events across the world. Guys, this is your chance to get in. This is everything I've been working towards. Let's fucking go.
What a dumbass. Hydrate. Oh, that's the movie.
That I could wear hats without looking like a little lad, or looking like a little league dad, or looking like a guy named Chad. But it seems my head will have to stay without a bowler or beret, lest someone sees me and they say, is that a style or bad cosplay? I wish I had no fears about looking like I have no ears, or that I haven't left my house in years, or I have strong opinions about beer. So looking like I got confused in the middle of dressing for a steampunk con, or looking like I look too long in the mirror every time I put a new hat on, wondering why do I look so bad or not bad, but sad that this hat won't look like I had a plan for this cap to cap.
They got rid of the Best Buy rewards for the free accounts. Well, that's bullshit. I've seen signs where they're wanting people to sign up for their bullshit. I'm not doing it.
Analyze on how my face looks, my body this size.
Think I need to up the bit cost? Yeah, I probably do need to.
The eyes in my skull, this hat on my hair, the eyes that look at the things that I wear, and how does it look, and how do I look, and how can I look how I look and not care? Comparing my clothes with others much closer to their own goals or some sort of closure. How do they do what they want and look bland? I come to you now, my hat in my hand. I wish that I looking something to recall. I wish that I could wear hats without looking anywhere.
I've seen him before, for sure. At least I think. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen that guy before.
I've been thinking.
Alright, anyway, back to the Chuds. Oh, we had this too.
It opens today. It will likely be a blockbuster. I haven't seen it yet. I have seen the trailer, but I can tell you in advance that the movie Dungeons & Dragons is demonic. D&D has always been an opening to the occult. I go back to the 70s.
Oh, you're fine,
when
Finagami.
D&D was a board game before it was a video game.
It's a tabletop game. I've had to explain it as a board game before because it's quicker than explaining to someone what it is if they don't know.
Movie franchise. Why is it demonic?
It's not
the first popular fantasy role-playing game to encompass characters with demonic identities. Back then,
oh my god, magic isn't demonic.
As an exorcist, I was casting out demons from players who became too enmeshed with their demonically identified characters by emotionally investing themselves in demon beings such as Baphomet and the Philistine god Dagon. For some, the demon characters became an alter ego that could
No, they didn't.
Lead to demonic possession.
I'm making shit up.
Possession of a real demon like Baphomet or Dagon. In the Bible, the dragon represents Satan. As the movie trailer ironically boasts, we've unleashed the greatest evil ever known. Really? Enough said.
Vacation, thanks for 30 months, says, hey Hannah, I wanted to share with someone outside of my fiance that I'm about to hit 4 years of being out and on hormones, and it's the greatest thing I've ever done. Congratulations. That's wonderful. I know how that can be. That's so fun. Oh my god, what's Abbie Shapiro up to? So for those who haven't seen me cover Abbie Shapiro before, it's been a while. She kind of fascinates me because, of course, you're familiar with her brother, Ben Shapiro. And it feels like
social media.
She wants to be an influencer so bad. So badly. She wants to be on the internet like her brother is. It feels like she wants to be, you know, like a trad wife influencer. But despite the fact that she's been posting constantly for at least a couple years, I think. Let me even look. She just can't... She can't get her foot in the door. Oh my god, is it even 4 years? That's so funny. Like, she gets the same number of views on her videos as I do a lot of the time. And she has way more subscribers. So, the number of people who watch her unironically and actually like her seems to be very low. I think a lot of people just subscribed because they like making fun of her. Which is a little mean, but you know. She did have a huge AstroTurf campaign, and it's so funny that it fell flat on its face. So anyway, let's see what she's been up to. This is like a Q&A that she did. I don't know how interesting it'll be, but I just wanted to check in on her.
Let's get into your questions. If you're new here, my name is Abbie, and here we talk about lifestyle and motherhood from a traditional and classic perspective. I'm so glad you're here. And today I'm going to be answering your questions. I'm going to be getting into the nitty-gritty with you all, and I'm excited to see what you guys asked. So I posted on Instagram and asked you guys to put in any questions you had about motherhood, dating, the culture, anything that was on your mind. So let's hop right in. I got a lot of responses, and let's see how many we can get done before my son wakes up from his nap. P.S. If you're new here, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. It's totally free, and you'll get to see anytime I post a new video. No. Okay, let's hop into the first question. How to speak to my father who says my homeschooled kids need public school for adversity. We homeschool because gender politics and just general wrong values being taught.
How dare! I don't understand gender, and I won't let my child understand it either. If one of the primary virtues you're trying to pass along to your child is ignorance, you're a bad parent. Just so you know. Yeah, the adversity is weird. I don't know if he meant diversity or if he genuinely if he meant something along the lines of learning to interact with other human beings, which is a skill that you need to learn.
Which my father does agree with, so he sees the flaws with public school but won't let up. So here's what I would say. I would say at some point, this is just your responsibility as the parent. You get to make the decision.
You do, and I'm sure your kids will hate you for it. I imagine they're going to be behind their peers and have a hard time functioning in their jobs. Because again, A lot of the people doing this these days, unfortunately, are super right-wing weirdos, some of which I've seen flat earthers doing fucking homeschool. Like, I get it. There are absolutely situations where people go through homeschool and are very intelligent and informed about things. I don't think it's the majority. I just don't. I really, really don't. There's a reason that you need qualifications to be a teacher. There's a reason that you should go to college to be a teacher. I was gonna say have to, but I'm pretty sure in Florida and Texas they lowered the bar on that one, unfortunately.
So if your father is saying that, oh, your kids need to be in public school for adversity or for social skills or for whatever else it is, you can just explain to him why you don't believe that that is necessary for your children to grow up and be good members of society.
Okay, you can do that. You're wrong, but you can do that.
The truth is that any school could offer adversity, but could also offer the exact opposite, in the sense that you could be the victim of bullying or you could be the bully. You don't know what your...
Isn't that something that you would like to teach your kids to navigate? Because in the world, there are adults who are bullies. Like, you both need to understand and teach your children why they shouldn't be a bully, and also how to deal with people that are. Like, ignoring this isn't going to be helpful to those children. They're going to grow up and not have experiences that would have made them more prepared for life. Like, I get it. Bullying sucks. I understand. But sheltering your kids from other people isn't going to make it better? Devil Summoner Marie says, I was homeschooled and I'm a dumbass. Aw. Don't say that. The things I'm kind of smart about I picked up through intensive reading of a variety of philosophy texts in college and post-education. And Dr. Gamble says otherwise you get Steven Crowder. Oh.
Kids' role is going to be in school. And I know plenty of kids who went to public school who did not face adversity there. I know plenty of people who did.
I mean, did you even go to public school? Your family's rich. So, like, you probably went to a private school. You don't even know what public school's like. I don't think you've been there.
Did face adversity. So I always hate these talking points that seem like, oh, well, everyone knows that you need to send your kids to school because that's what everyone does. Everyone needs adversity.
That's not what he said. Again, teaching social skills. It teaches multiple things. Social skills, structure, which is difficult for a lot of people, especially if you have ADHD, but it does teach you that, like, yeah, life has a structure, you know? And to, like, be accountable for people other than your parents, which is important to develop into an adult. Like, if you're homeschooled and your primary and, like, 90% of your social interactions are just with your parents, and maybe some kids you do play dates with or whatever, siblings, you're going to be a really stunted person in terms of being able to interact with other people, right? Like, part of school is learning to navigate social situations with other human beings that are not directly related to you. Yeah.
In school, or everyone needs socialization from school. There's a lot of things about homeschooling that you don't get in public school and that we don't talk about.
Like transphobia. Why isn't anyone talking about the transphobia? Gitara says, I mentioned in the past I work in healthcare, mostly handling a lot of back-end IT, but I also handle patients' concerns. I often get pediatric or young adult patients who are trans. Usually, if their records still show their dead name or gender they don't identify with, I make changes they want. Helping them feel comfortable with our staff and themselves honestly makes the job worth it. Sometimes their parents raise a stink about it, but HIPAA laws protect us and the patients. Good for you. You're good. Fenekigami says, homeschool is purely about controlling your child's environment, even if that control is not malicious, such as special needs classes. It's always about control.
We treat public school like it's the obvious choice, like everyone has to do it, but it's only been this way in the recent past. I mean, most people taught their kids at home for much of history.
A lot of history is full of dumb people. Do you know that? Do you know that the advent of public schooling and publicly funded education increased literacy rates and the ability of people to do basic mathematics, as well as just thinking in general? Have you considered that in the past, people didn't have as much education? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, the formalization of schooling is not in the last 100 or 200 years. It's been all over the goddamn place.
The idea that we have to put our kids in public school. And the truth is, no one asks the same questions about public school as they do about homeschooling. They'll just
pretty sure they do. People criticize public school all the time.
Assume that you just put your kids in school and that's what you do. No one asks the questions of like, what are the bad things that could happen in public school? What are the alternatives?
Literally,
because
right-wing people talk about this shit all the time. I think everyone talks about this. People are aware of the concerns that happen in schooling. Like, people know that. But have you considered that people look at that and still consider it better than the thing you're doing?
Well,
not only that, but it's actually funny. Abbie Shapiro's rich, right? Abbie Shapiro's a Nepo baby, just like her brother. So to her, like, she genuinely probably doesn't even take into consideration a lot of families can't afford to homeschool because it would require at least one parent to be home all day and teach the kid and create lesson plans and stuff. Abbie, other people aren't rich. They have to work.
Obviously, everyone gets sent to public school. But when it comes to homeschooling, everyone acts like, well, that's just an odd choice because they're...
It is, because we have a system that we literally all put money into to try and educate people, and instead of helping improve that system, you just want to opt out because you're a rich asshole. Finnikagami says, remember, America is a, quote, Christian nation, and even though Jesus taught the poor and disenfranchised, public school is evil to fundamentalists. What do you want me to do for the hats off? And Nerdy Valkyrie says, I have often said Abbie Shapiro is basically a real-life Serena Joy from Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if the show differs, I only read the book, but in the book, Serena spent her youth as a speaker promoting traditional values. When asked why she isn't living the lifestyle she promotes, she basically says, I'm sacrificing my happiness to help others. After the takeover, she has to actually live the life she promoted, and she clearly hates it. Yeah. And Lurge says, I was homeschooled because I asked for it for a while, and it was great. I was having a hard time at school, and it gave me a chance to work through some stuff. Also, my mom was actually a teacher. That'll help. Let's see what I'm going to do for the hats off.
There's so many other options. Are you sure you don't want to send your kids to public school? Because that's what we have always done. I don't think that that's correct. And so I think at the end of the day, what you just need to say to your father is, you know, this is a decision we've made for our family. We've decided that there's a lot of really great reasons for us to homeschool. We think that there's a lot of positives to that are only going to be negative on the other side if we send our children to public school. And we feel confident in our decision. And as your kids grow up and as they continue to be good, strong members of society, I think that's going to prove over time.
I was waiting for her housekeeper to walk in the background and be dusting things.
Time that you've made the right decision. And of course, homeschooling isn't for everyone.
It's probably easy to be a trad wife when you can hire people to come do all the traditional trad wife stuff for you so you can focus on doing shitty YouTube videos.
And homeschooling has to be done with a certain intentionality where, of course, I'm going to make time for my kids to socialize. I'm going to make time for them to do extracurriculars. And I'm not going to just like plop them in front of the TV when we're not learning. Of course, those are things I'm sure you're taking into account. And I think...
Why are you sure of that? Why are you sure of that? So many people are stupid and hands off with their kids. Why do you believe that they're sure people do not take that into account necessarily? No, they do not. What are you talking about? Have you seen the fucking unschooling people? There's literally people whose whole ethos is we don't teach our kids anything. What the fuck, Abbie?
I think most homeschooling parents in today's day and age take into account. But that is really what I would do, is just be forthright, be honest about your guys' choice. You feel confident about it, you feel good about it, and just stay firm in that choice and in that decision. Were you a virgin when you got married? Should I stay a virgin and risk losing my man? So question number 1 is yes, I was a virgin when I got married.
I'm wondering if she used the loophole.
It was very important to me to save sex for someone I was completely committed to feel really good about my choice to have sex with someone who wanted to start a family with me and who loved me and had made...
I think that's a terrible idea. Of course, you can do whatever you want. You can do absolutely whatever you want. Totally. I think in general, though, generally speaking, kind of seems like you should know about your sexual compatibility. And, like, I have straight up heard trad people and conservatives say that, like, sexual compatibility isn't a thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is. Like, you're going into it blind. What if you have totally different, like, wants and needs and your libidos are completely different? Like, what are you gonna do then? Wasn't she in a music video about the loophole? Not quite. That was Garfunkel and Oates. Is this the link to the thing? Yeah. Okay, fuck it. I can cut this out for YouTube, it's fine. I don't know how much of this we're gonna watch, but not much. And Dr. Gamble says, I would be okay with homeschooling so long as they're subject to some form of regulations and standards for quality education, but that's really hard to do in the privacy of home. Yeah. There are standardized tests, but not helpful. H. Baird says, like, God damn, people are doing so many bits. I do have to up the bits. Holy fuck. Like, sexual chemistry matters. I had a relationship, and because of, even though we vibe on everything else, I can't imagine marrying someone only to find out you're not compatible. Yeah.
All my life, I've been good, do what my mom and dad and God say I should. Go to church and Bible school to live by God's rule. So whatever people tell me that the Bible tells me, I will do. Walk the halls of high school with my purity ring. Unlike those other girls, I got my morals in check. It was easy to do till I got a boyfriend. And pardon my French, but he's cute as heck. But I made a pact to keep my hymen intact, and Jesus and I are tight. Never learned about the birds and bees. I was taught to keep an aspirin in between my knees, cause the Bible says premarital sex is wrong. But Jason says that God...
Yeah, they did the Kanye or Hitler quote 10 years before the curve. Their stand-up was actually pretty funny together. I don't know if they still work together or if they've done separate things, but they're pretty funny.
I can't wait that long. I don't want to lose him to someone who'll do him. I need to figure something out. Well, there's a loophole in the scripture that works really well, so I can get him off without going to hell. It's my Hail Mary full of grace. In Jesus' name we go to fifth base. Oh, thank you for making me holy.
And thank you for giving me holes to choose from.
And since I'm not a godless whore, he'll have to come in the back door. Therefore, fuck me in the ass, cause I love Jesus. The good Lord would want it that way. Give me that sweet sensation of a throbbing rationalization. It's just between you and me. Cause everyone knows it's the sex that God can't see. It's hard to be as pure as me, to resist the urge to lose my vaginal virginity, to wait until...
Seriously though, like, here's the link if you want to watch the whole thing, but I've seen it many times. I don't need to do the whole thing. Abstinence-only sex education has been the most destructive force in, like, adolescent and early adult sexuality. It's so bad. It gives people so many misconceptions. Holy shit. Look, teenagers have been fooling around since the beginning of humanity. Like, this was a thing prior to Homo sapiens. I'm sure other hominids were fucking too. Like, I get it. So what you should do is teach them to do so safely, using contraception, understanding of how to do your best to prevent STIs, and consent. Like, these are things that are key. If you don't teach your kids this, it's not going to stop them from having sex. It's just going to stop them from doing so safely. Have I heard about soaking? Yes, I've heard about soaking. I thought it was called dick warming now. Cock warming. I don't know. I guess they're different in intent. I don't know.
Made this public declaration that we were going to be together and that we were going to stay together. That was incredibly important to me. That doesn't mean I wasn't physical. I like to be perfectly honest about that because I don't want people to assume things about my past that aren't true. But being a virgin, I was a virgin when I got married. As far as losing your man if you decide to stay a virgin, If your man is pressuring you to have sex before you're married, that is not a man you should be with.
If your partner is pressuring you to have sex in any context and you don't want to, that's a red flag and a bad thing. Your partner should respect your consent and shouldn't be trying to coerce you into doing things you don't want to do, sexually or otherwise. See what I mean about incomplete, like, this is an incomplete thought.
Of course you should risk losing that man. I would say break up with him on the spot. If he is making you feel like you need to have sex with him before you get married or else he's gonna break up with you, he is not the right guy for you. Good riddance. Advice on how to be modest with modern fashion.
That's such weird to me. That's so weird. Hydrate. Because, like, obviously I'm relatively new to the world of women's fashion, and when I'm not wearing this lovely ensemble, you know, like in real life when I actually go outside and don't want to be weird, it's not hard to find, like, women's clothing that are cute and not, like, revealing if that's something you care about. Like, that's not a difficult thing. That's incredibly easy to find. Why are you acting like this is a struggle? It really isn't. Like, what are you talking about? You think everything's just like, it's like you'd think they go into stores and everything's just like pasties that go like right here and like, you know, the smallest booty shorts.
I think that there's a lot of really wonderful ways to be modest with modern fashion. There's a lot of like modern fashion that happens to be modest right now. For example, you can wear a shirt under a dress and it's very in. You can wear midi lengths, longer skirts, and that's very in. There's a lot of styles going around that are modest and that just happen to be modest. And so I think for me, the way that I've always approached fashion and being modest is finding trends and finding styles that I enjoy that also happen to be modest, rather than always choosing something modest that is not trendy, is frumpy, doesn't fit you well. You want to choose some things that you like and you really enjoy and fit in with the kind of current trends that are going around, if that's what you're interested in, or just more classic styles that happen to be modest. So for example, I really like midi dresses. I think they're really pretty.
Dr. Gamble with 100 bits says, I see you're letting your hair down past your shoulders, Abbie. How unmodest
happen
of
to
you.
be very popular. So I can go out and find...
I don't think I've seen these kind of people ever really address the fact that modesty is relative to the context you're in. Like, modesty to us in 2023 is very different to what people 100 years ago considered modest, you know? It's almost like it's a social construct. Crazy. You should just do whatever the fuck you want.
A bunch of midi dresses at TJ Maxx, and it's not like I went to a store that only sells modest clothing. I went to a normal store that happens to have options that are modest. That, for me, always brought me the most joy when it came to incorporating modest style into my wardrobe. Do you think women with short hair are feminine? Yes, I think that your hair has very little to do with...
Wonder how your brother would feel about that. M. Scheffler says this lady is the opposite of engaging. That's why I'm here.
Your femininity. I've had a pixie cut. I've had friends who have pixie cuts. For me, being feminine is about having a nurturing soul and heart. And if you want to take care of others and
also the vagina, clearly.
Create a welcoming...
You're not in... You think trans people are shit, so...
Home.
I want to put that out there.
That is much more important than the length of your hair. Now, I don't think, if you are in this stage of your life where you are dating, I don't think that having a pixie cut or short hair is always going to be the best option to attract a man.
Oh God, maybe don't do your hair specifically in order to attract men or anyone for that. Maybe have your hair a way that you like. We consider that. You're gonna have a hairdo you don't even like your whole life because you marry someone who doesn't like what you want it to look like? What the fuck? Lazy Paradox, thanks for 23 months, says, cat girl in a maid outfit and flower crown, nothing's more modest than the classic Hannah. H. Baird says, if you look up modesty in the Bible, it says, to be modest, there isn't any real guide, though it does say you shouldn't braid your hair or wear gold jewelry. Meek says, if she thinks that's what a woman is, she must really think poorly of men. And... Gnome Pickle says, a typical store has clothing that fits your religious standards. Doesn't that kind of count against the narrative that we are an evil society? No, but people have an option to do something other than the thing she wants, and that's clearly not okay.
Who is looking for a more traditional woman just because men like long hair. That's not to say that it can't
That's very dependent. That is painting a very broad picture.
Amazing on someone, but I think for a lot of men, they look at long hair and they think, wow, that's really, really attractive. That is very feminine. And so if you are in the stage where you are taking seriously looking for a man to marry, I wouldn't necessarily go with really, really short hair. But if you are married
Whoa, that is a huge raid. Thank you so much, Lance. How you doing? Hope your stream went well. Hello, everyone. I'm Hannah. I'm a leftist variety streamer. Today we're doing Chud Watch. Today we are doing Chud Watch. We're watching all sorts of right-wing weirdos. Right now we're watching Abbie Shapiro do a Q&A, talking all about how to dress modestly. At least that's what this question is about. The maid outfit. I should explain that. That's a tip goal. Have another day after today, so please forgive that. Don't assume I'm, just to be clear, not a cat girl. It's a joke. Unless you're into it, then it's not a joke. Follow either way. There's a link to follow Lance over at the Surfs TV. Please do so. Really, really based, great individual. Haven't talked in a while. We should probably do something. I feel like Lance and I have talked in passing a few times, and we just never done anything. So I need to do that at some point. Tweakle, thanks for 8 months. Says 8 months, that sub baby may already be viable. Hold it in. 1 more month. Thanks for everyone who's following, by the way. Real quick, I'm Hannah. Like I said, leftist variety streamer. I cover chuds. I cover conspiracy theories and debunk them. I cover old media as kind of a cleanse sometimes. I collect movies. All sorts of stuff. So, welcome. And Overthought, thanks for gifting us up.
You've talked about it with your husband and he's on board, then yeah, why not? You can cut your hair if you want to.
You gotta ask your husband if it's okay to cut your hair, because obviously you primarily exist as a sexual object for your husband to admire. That's your role. Oh my god. How is she not miserable? It feels like, too, like, if this was, if Abbie Shapiro and other trad wife people were like, you know what? This is a kink. I'm into it. I'm into this as a kink. I want my husband to view me as basically property. That's what she's into. I wouldn't care. I don't care what people do if they're, like, self-aware about it and consenting. Totally fine. It's just weird that it becomes a political ethos. It's weird that she's like, no, this is right for everyone. I don't just have a fetish. Everyone needs to do this, and it's morally incorrect to not. That XY girl says Abbie Shapiro getting a Ben Shapiro pixie cut.
Too, I think that there's always flexibility there. I just think that, like, realistically, most men like longer hair. And if you are trying to be respectful to your spouse, or you're just trying to attract a guy that you've never met before, having long hair or longer hair, a bob, I think is absolutely, like, within that range, is going to make a little more sense in that situation.
Sorry, I missed some bits from the thing. Fenekagami says, I liked my wife's long hair. She got sick of the maintenance and cut it super short, and I got over it. Abbie, your view of men is as shit as your view of women. That's the funny thing about the conservatives and trad, like, people in general. It feels like they think the absolute worst of every single human being on the planet. And I get it. I can be a doomer. People are pretty shit a lot of the time. I get it. But even I'm not as cynical as these people. Gnome Pickle says, so typical store has clothing... Oh, no, read that one. There was one more. Did that catch us up, I think? Yes, I think that caught us up.
Situation. Do you ever think about singing again? Sometimes, but at the
end... Oh my god, do we need to go back to her singing? Chat, I know how much all of you love Abbie Shapiro singing. She's so good at it. This is so mean of me. This is the meanest bit I do, probably. I'm comfortable with it, though.
What so proudly we hailed.
To be clear, I understand that the vibrato thing is a style of singing. Don't know if it matches a lot of the things she sings, but alright.
At the twilight's last.
Okay, I think we need to... There's so much beauty here that I think we need to maybe slow it down a little so that we can appreciate it even more. with more detail?
Gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous.
Slower? Okay, we can go slower than that. Slower has been requested, so.
O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
All right, maybe just let's go to the slowest speed and we'll jump to the end. Big finish, big finish. I got to do a bit like this to make sure that the raiders immediately know how annoying I am as a streamer. Like if you don't find this fucking hilarious, you will probably hate me. Nutzerk, thanks for 31 months, says thanks, I hate it. You're welcome. This is why you sub. Works. Oh shit, Purple Pondini with 10,000 bits says make it stop. You just gave me $100. I think legally I have to stop. Jake Thoney, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, and Dr. Gamble says the chat right now.
Discord. It's impossible. Nothing's impossible through music.
The High Priestess is testing our faith once again. Hey. You know me by now. This isn't my fault, this is your fault. Your cat ears are confused and a bit upset. Your cat's ears. Forget not everyone has cat ears like me.
And
End of the day, the
Below HP, thanks for 10 months. Stream baby. Petunia Applebottom is the name of this sub baby.
lifestyle of singing just never made sense for me.
Oh, sorry, I think there's one more. Did we just do this one? No, we did that. Cool.
And so fitting singing into my current lifestyle, I'm always happy to do. I mean, I've done a couple concerts here and there, and honestly, I haven't done one for my channel, like a music.
Did people pay to see these concerts, or were they paid? I'm a little confused. Nerdy Valkyrie says Abbie's a singer, another thing she has in common with Serena Joy, and with that I leave for the night. Good night, everyone. Night. Oh my god, I need to up the bits minimum. Holy shit. Profane Priestess apparently had one. I've had professional singing lessons from a musician with a doctorate in music education. Abbie is a bad singer. That vibrato sounds fact. I don't know if that's fast or what it was supposed to be to me, and she's going to injure her voice doing it. Natural and artistically desirable vibrato is not this intense. But don't you understand? Her family has money, so she's good at things, and by good at things, I mean her parents have connections to let her do things in public that she probably shouldn't do for embarrassment reasons.
Music video for my channel in a while, but I think I definitely could. And when I do that, that brings me joy. But I also sing to my son twice a day for his nap and for his bedtime, and I absolutely love doing that. What does your Sabbath day consist of? How do you prepare for it as a mom?
That's fine. I don't know anything about the Jewish Sabbath other than you're not really supposed to do work, so I'm gonna skip to the next question.
Important to understand why you believe what you believe from a logical and rational.
M. Scheffler says, you can up the bits now. Those were my last 45 bits. At the end of the stream, it's probably gonna go up to like 100 bits, because we get so many messages that derail the stream, and I like the messages. It's just, you know.
Perspective. How do you find other conservative moms to be friends with? And are you able to be friends with moms who are left-leaning and don't share the same values? So,
find the worst people you can imagine. You'll probably like them if you're a conservative.
Finding other conservative moms, that is tricky. For me, most of the friends that I've made are through my synagogue, so I would say through faith-based communities, because usually the people who share your faith also share your values. So for me,
I mean, if you're looking for other conservative people, that is probably actually a good thing. guessing, churches are usually pretty politically isolated too if you're going to a specific church. Unfortunately, because politics has become so intertwined with religion, yeah, you're probably going to meet people with similar political beliefs, otherwise they'd be at a different church. Fennikagami says, don't worry, chat, I'm over a quarter of the way to Danzy, then Hannah can't escape.
That's been the
Don't do this to me.
easiest way to make conservative mom friends, but a lot of stay-at-home moms, not all, but many.
Yeah, I did find that funny too. I know she and Ben are a more traditional sect of Judaism, but by and large, Jewish individuals within the United States vote more left-leaning. I'm imagining this is going to depend, though, too, if one considers themselves religiously Jewish or ethnically Jewish, because there are plenty of people who are, like, Jewish but don't necessarily practice. So I guess it depends on what you mean there.
Depending on the area, tend to be more conservative. And so if you go to play gyms or if you go to the library, the moms who are there with their...
Is there a Danzy level donut? No, there isn't. I trained.
Kids are also the moms who probably or may have more traditional values. So I would say that is a really good way to meet people. I've had a really good success in that, and I've met some really wonderful people in these spaces. As far as having friends who are moms who have different values, I think it depends on what those values that you differ about are. Some things...
Not being homophobic and transphobic, is this a deal breaker?
Are not so important, and okay, we won't talk about them, and they're not going to affect my kids, and they're not going to affect your kids. But there are some things that I would not want my child to be around.
This is the weird thing to me. I'm assuming in this case she's talking... she might expound, and maybe I'm wrong. I assume in part she's talking about, like, people who are LGBT, QIA plus friendly. This is what I don't understand. Do you think your children are going to grow up in a world without queer people? Because they're gonna find out eventually. They have the internet. They're gonna find out that queer people exist. So weird.
And so if you as a mom believe that transgender ideology
There it is! Ideology. Oh my god, I didn't know my existence was a fucking ideology. Crazy.
is great and is good and something that you want to raise your kids around, I don't think I can be friends with you because...
I can't be friends with you because I'm quite bigoted, actually.
Your child may end up talking to my child about ideas that I don't agree...
Oh my... God, your kid being introduced to ideas other than directly from a parent? That never happens. Holy shit. If anyone needs to hear this, your children learning ideas outside of the things you teach them is part of growing up. I understand that in a reasonable situation, it's okay. Your kids might come home with things that are incorrect, too. Like, maybe some kid will tell them some really awful shit, and you can correct that. But the idea that you don't want your kid exposed to, no, only my ideas go in my kid's head. They're not a human being deserving of the ability to explore the world. They're mine. I own them and their brain, and I want to make sure they're a piece of shit just like me. I don't know, just seems like not very realistic. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure sometimes that works and you'll raise little shits that'll grow up and vote the same way you do. But honestly, enough of the time, your kids are just gonna fucking hate you. Like, your kid, I don't know how old Abbie Shapiro's kid is, I don't care. She was pregnant like a couple years ago, so still a toddler, I'm guessing. However old. Does she think that when that kid is in his 20s, 30s, the world isn't going to be even more LGBTQIA plus friendly? Like, she's delusional if she thinks that it's not going to happen. Like, does she just think it's all gonna go away? Don't worry. Stonewall and everything after it was just a blip. Like, no! Like, this would be equivalent to, like, imagine if during the 60s, like, before the Civil Rights Act, but during a lot of, like, the civil rights, protests and activities going on, imagine if you literally, like, let's say you were a racist shitbag parent who was in favor of segregation. This would be like being like, I don't want my kids to learn that there are non-white people in the world, so I'm not gonna let them talk to anyone or go to school where they might learn that. They're gonna learn that other people different than them exist. You're literally trying to keep them ignorant so they're mad at things they don't understand like you are. You're handicapping your child socially. Like, it's not good. Don't do that. So much for the marketplace of ideas. There's some good news in the fact that some churches are pro-pride. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh my gosh, Gitara says the ideas they teach their children are correct and just, then perhaps they shouldn't be so afraid of their kids hearing and learning about other ideas. Surely the ideals they've taught your child will hold up against the scrutiny of other ideals. And Fenekagami says, hell, I saw a few at Pride when I went. One even had a survey that asked, what things does the queer community need that we could help with? I mean, that's good. I would prefer that happen. I don't see church is going away anytime soon, you know? Religion's been a human mainstay since the beginning. I don't expect it to go away. Kind of feels uncomfortable to me seeing Christianity co-opt pro-pride stuff, considering, everything about Christianity versus queerness over the last long time. But whatever. I guess I'd rather that happen than the opposite. Bumble Homestead says most of the private schools in my area were founded in the 60s. Private schools didn't have to integrate. Oh yeah, I know.
Agree with. And I think that that's a hard situation. So I would say yes and no, depending on the topic. Recommendations for homemaking in old houses. Mine's 123 years old, and I want...
Abbie, again, you're a Nepo baby. You probably just pay people to come and restore shit. Like, that's fine, but, like, your situation is not the same as other people's.
I mix my style with the old. I love living in old houses. Oh my gosh, my husband and I love traditional style.
You know what's not fun living in an old house? When you're poor. When you don't have a bunch of money for when emergencies happen and things break, being poor makes it not very fun living in old houses. You like how Futurama did the issue? Oh, I know this clip. Let me get to the actual thing.
We will not give in to the thinkers. We will not. I have to protect my kids. Understand? I don't understand evolution, and I have to protect my kids from understanding it. We will not give in to the thinkers.
Old houses are absolutely glorious. Of course, they're difficult because you have to deal with the structural differences between older houses and newer houses.
No kidding. Let's get to our aliens question.
Your thoughts on the alien disclosure stuff. Really interested in your take on this. To be honest, I haven't thought about it very much. I don't really care about aliens. I don't know. I don't think it's real. I don't think I believe in aliens, you guys. I don't think.
That's interesting to me. Like, she's religious, so on some level I understand where she's coming from. I don't think aliens have ever visited Earth. I don't necessarily know or think there are humanoid aliens out there, or ones that we would consider intelligent that we could interface with in a way that would be understandable to us or them. But life probably exists elsewhere, somewhere. Just statistically. It's interesting to me when people are like, nope, we're it. No more life in the entire universe. We're a mistake. It's just weird. H. Baird says, I volunteered to help get LGBT protections passed in Virginia in 2020, and progressive churches were some of our best allies. They gave up space to phone bank in. They let us get people to call their delegate state senators after service on Sundays. I'm not religious, but I do give credit where it's due. Hey, political coalition building is important. I get that. Kitten Cupcake, thanks for 21 months, says, hello, Hannah. Hope all is well. Just had a 3-day weekend, and I have to open at Starbucks at 4:30 tomorrow morning. Well, that's not going to be fun, but I hope you had a good long weekend.
I think I do. I don't know. I haven't thought about this long and hard, but I don't think I believe in aliens. How do you combat impatience?
That was it. That was the whole answer. God damn, there was not a lot of thought put onto that at all. Finikagami says, that's why I'm a bit nervous about the fact my new house is 100 years old. Also totally feel churches being at Pride is a bit sus. Made me uncomfortable a bit too.
When you're 25 and have never dated. Well, there's a difference between impatience because you have dated and you haven't met the right guy, and impatience because you haven't dated and you want to meet the right guy. You have to put yourself out there in whatever way you can, whether that means going to a lot of single events or signing up for online dating or having your friends set you up. You have to approach dating in many ways like a job, and so you need to put yourself out there.
Shouldn't it be easy? Shouldn't you just get on that The Right Stuff app that Peter Thiel funded? Heard that was going great. Marcus Drake says, to be fair, if you were God and humanity was your first attempt, would you risk a second go? Red Werewolf says, as a Jewish person, my opinion is that Ben and Abbie have a weirdly Christian normalized worldview, especially Ben. The synagogue I grew up going to has always been progressive since my childhood in the 80s, 90s. The current cantor for the congregation is a trans woman. Yeah, Ben is interesting, to say the least.
I can understand why you're impatient, and I know that dating is so hard. Oh my gosh, it is so hard. But you know, the impatience of I've dated a lot and I've not met the right person, that is in many ways, I think, harder than I have yet to date. So go ahead and put yourself out there if you can, and get ready to meet people and try to enjoy the process. And also just embrace this single time, because there is value to being single, and there are a lot of wonderful things you can do during this period of your life. You can take yourself on dates.
Ben knows who gives him money. Yeah. The sad thing is, too, like, does he know what he's doing? Because there's been an uptick in the past, basically since 2015. Of course, it's always been there, but the vocal, how loud it is and how many people are falling for it has risen. I'm sure you guys know. Anti-Semitism has been on the rise for quite a while, and I do not understand how Ben Shapiro doesn't see this as more of a threat to himself and his family. Like, I've seen, like, you guys know because of this job, I spend time in, like, really shitty areas of the internet with a lot of right-wing people. There's a lot of them who say really fucked up things about Ben Shapiro, and I don't like Ben Shapiro. You guys know I don't like Ben Shapiro, but I don't like him because of the stupid things he says and the awful things he says about trans people and women, you know, all sorts of dumb things that Nepo baby spouts. Right? But they don't like him for anti-Semitic reasons, and it pisses me off.
You can go to museums, you can do things on your own schedule, and that is a very different thing.
Why is Blair white? I have no idea. Blair white makes me mad because, like, Blair is incredibly fortunate. Blair was able to start her transition relatively young, and she falls into pop culture's idea of, like, traditional, you know, like attractiveness, you know? She could have done so much good with her platform, and instead she did all the bullshit she does. It's ridiculous. I don't know how she lives with it. Tea with Goblin says, Abbie Shapiro is younger than me, yet has the nasty, mean-spirited energy of 10,000 bitter, middle-aged Karens who will call the cops on black kids selling lemonade, ban queer library books, and gossip behind your back.
Than when you get married and when you have children. Why do you think you are better than other women simply because you have a child? I don't. I think that if you want to have children and you either haven't gotten there yet in your timeline, or you're struggling, or whatever else it may be, then
maybe someone just doesn't want them. I think the point is that the fact that comment came in hot, and I assume you picked that one specifically because it made the writer sound like an asshole, but generally it's the bigger issue of the fact that, like, trad wife influencers and stuff have a tendency to, like, act as though the way that you live is the way everyone has to live, and it's ideal for everyone. Like, I'm very happy if someone wants to, you know, do, like, a quote-unquote traditional relationship or whatever. If everyone involved is on the same page and it's consensual, I'm happy for them. I want everyone to go out and live whatever life that they want to, as long as it's not hurting anyone, you know? But for whatever reason, it seems like a lot of these people think that choice is a bad thing. Everyone should have to do the thing they want to do. It's crazy. It's annoying. Like, imagine if we were all at a birthday party as kids, and there were, you know, a bunch of different 2 liters of sody pop. You know? You got your root beer, you got your Coke, your Pepsi, your Mountain Dew, your Faygo, if you're from Michigan. Imagine if one of the kids at the birthday party is like, I I'm gonna drink Mountain Dew, and that's the only thing anyone can ever drink. And everyone was like, no, you can have Mountain Dew. You want Mountain Dew, have Mountain Dew, that's great, you know? And he's like, no, everyone needs to drink Mountain Dew, because if people like different sodas than me, then I am uncomfortable with that for some reason. Gitara says, trust me, Candace Owens and Blair White know. They just think that because they're, quote, one of the good ones, they won't be part of the nasty things that right-wingers have said they do to their own demographics. Again, Night of Long Knives. Look it up, people. Goddamn, fascist movements will purge these kind of people the second they can. You're being used as a tool. Stop it. Get some help.
We are exactly the same, and there is no difference between us. We are all great. If you think that having children is just, who cares? Nobody needs to do it. Do what you want. Decide later. Put it off. Freeze your eggs. Whatever. I still don't think I'm better than you. I think that that's a bad decision.
The derision with which you said that definitely indicated that you don't think you're better than people who make different choices than you.
Those are different things. I don't think that I am personally...
I don't think I'm better than you. I just think all my decisions are better and your decisions are stupid.
A better person than you are. I just think you are making a poor choice. And you aren't giving yourself the opportunity to do something great. Any advice for someone who isn't married but is thinking...
The only great thing you're capable of doing is producing children.
Thinking of being a homemaker. God. Absolutely. This is...
Okay, I think I'm done with Abbie Shapiro for today. Good God, what is her problem? Forrest Espion says, fun fact about Blair White. 5 years ago, she did a live stream crying that her grandmother deleted her from Facebook as a grandchild. Blair also explains her dad's side of the family refuses to let her come to family gatherings. Blair cried that I looked and act 100% like a woman. Why won't they accept me? Even if they dead name me, I don't care. Sorry for the long post. It just explains Blair's tragic anime villain backstory. Blair, delete the stream. Jesus Christ. It's sad. It's sad. Unfortunately, a lot of people who do really fucked up things have some really sad reason for doing it. Doesn't excuse it. Marcus says, useful idiots are the only kept around so long as they have unity. Once the fascists take over, they'll be on the chopping block just as sure as everyone else. Yeah. Oops, wrong button.
Obstacle between them and their global utopianism are people that are patriotic and people of Christian conviction. Part of the way they're trying to raise up generations of secularists that don't like America and don't accept Christ. They're
people are allowed to not be a religion. It's fine that you're your religion. I don't care what you do.
Demonizing people of faith and people of patriotic conviction. And
what does patriotic conviction even mean here? You use the flag and you use the idea of America as a cudgel in order to bash people you hate, to call them not Americans, and to act as though for some reason you have some magical quality that makes you more a citizen than people you don't like. Fuck off. Fenekagami says, God, I hate religious passive-aggressive gaslighting hate speech. As Believe It or Not said, there's no hate like Christian love.
And the term Christian nationalism really should be a compliment.
It's not. It's not.
Because number one, we believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
And that's fine. You can believe whatever you want. Forcing it on other people, that's not even what Christianity says you're supposed to do. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't stopped Christians for pretty much all of the history of Christianity, but generally, I thought the whole idea was supposed to be free will. You take over a country and force people to be Christian, that's not really free will, is it?
Christ. Number two, we care about this country, but it's a slam by the left. It's a pejorative term.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be authoritarian and force people into believing your particular religion.
To try to mean some wide-eyed, crazed, zealot, but really to love the Lord and to love this country.
I see the Trump federal paper indictment recording was released in full on CNN. No.
These are virtues, not vices. I proudly own the term Christian nationalist. The left can call me that all they want, because
I don't even know who you are.
I am
and I do this for a living, so I don't think you're relevant enough for people to call you anything outside of whatever echo chamber you operate in.
Christian, and I love the United States of America. And bad news, wokies, millions and millions of
wokies.
Others love America too.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Fucking wokies.
Trying to ensnare this nation, and we say in Jesus' name, a reset will come. I speak, and I'd like for you to do this with me 7 times. That's the number of fullness as I point at the White House. Say it with me, reset, 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 reset.
When I was a child, I really thought there were fewer adults that believed in literal magic. Like, I legit, like, even as a kid, I was like, you know, post a certain age, I was like, oh yeah, magic is like a fun thing in TV shows and stuff, but it's not real, you know? And no adult thinks that. There are tons of adults who just believe magic is a real thing. Like, unironically, they're going around like medieval peasants. Like, they think magic is real. Ugh. Gnome Pickle says, I'm going to claim that I am oppressed by the left and therefore jumpstart my career and have right-wing loons buy me my terrible book or whatever thing I'm hawking. I'm glad that I have enough of a conscience that I'm incapable of doing right-wing grifting. Instead, I became this. Which, sure, I don't make as much money as I would have otherwise. But I sleep at night.
Reset. 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 Come to you. And you diabolical leaders.
So you don't need like a spellcasting focus or any components? This is just the only part of this spell is verbal? I guess somatic, too. You were doing this.
Will lose your position in the name of Jesus. The assignment of demons is canceled, and angel armies will.
So much for being anti-cancel culture. I can't believe you just canceled all demons.
Come and assist us in Jesus' name.
These people, god damn it.
How this ended up, you know, I am Pentecostal, charismatic, but somehow I was...
Are you casting magic? Not sure God would approve. Tea with Goblin says, me looking over my collection of strap-ons, butt plugs, and vibrators. Ah, yes, 7, the number of fullness. Oh, God.
I don't know if I was slain in the spirit. I think I was on my knees praying at a great gathering at a church, which was Harold Caballeros' church, a great statesman down there. And I had my eyes closed. And a man came up to me out of nowhere.
Says likely ban evader restricted. The person who's called like, we love Democrats. I get what you're doing. You're trying to do like TOS breaking stuff. No one in chat can see it but me. So like, stop it. Kitten Cupcake says, when I think about how much money an idiot like Tim Pool makes, I want to walk off a cliff in Roblox. Yeah. Oof.
Nowhere and whispered in my ear.
Kitten Cupcake says, when I think about how... Sorry, it moved up when the ban thing happened, so I thought it was a different...
Brother Lance, I believe the Lord has a word for you. God wants you to know Donald Trump will be elected for one more term.
You guys said this. We covered this up to the 2020 election. There were so many so-called prophets, because there are a ton of people going around claiming to be prophets, if you don't know, all the time. There was a whole movie about the Trump prophecy with that Mark Taylor weirdo. He's still out there. Anyway, they all got it wrong. Like, all these prophet types were like, yeah, in 2020, Trump's gonna win. He's gonna win by a landslide, and then nothing, that didn't happen. So why is anyone listening to these people? Literally, even in the Bible, I have read the Bible. The Bible says... the way that you will know someone is a false prophet is if their prophecies don't come true. By the Bible's own standard, all of these grifters should be cut off from any Christian audience that has actually read the Bible. But they haven't, so.
And after that, there shall be this great distress of nations. The Antichrist and those forces will not be able to emerge before their time. And there's one more term of mercy for America. whispered it in my ear. By the time I turned around, I didn't even know who it was.
Oh my god. The Mike Lindell drone thing was hilarious. I know we watched that already, but if you didn't see it, Mike Lindell is doing like... I think he's being grifted. I think Mike Lindell is being grifted. He's trying to use drones to do election security, and it's so dumb. It's so dumb. No Pickles says, whatever happened to No Man Shall Know the Time of the End? Oh, people haven't been paying attention to that one for a long time. Oops.
Folks, I think it's time to stand up.
It's a little quiet.
Put the government back in Richmond, Virginia. Get rid of the people in D.C. And Oliver Anthony is the man that is bringing people in this country together of all races and backgrounds. Oliver Anthony is one of the greatest men of our time.
Oliver Anthony? Gotta remind myself real quick who that is. Oh, duh! He's the fucking guy who did this stupid fucking song! God damn it. Let's see. Dr. Gamble says, so what you're saying is the scientists like climatologists are the only true prophets? Yes. The wormhole aliens have decreed it. Elminato says, do Mike's drones also spray weed compounds into people's faces? I wish. It would make his talking more sufferable. Discordant Vol says that doesn't I assume that's supposed to be let me feel super important though? Yeah. By the way, that music, it's so funny. The right has done this before, so has Bryson Gray. Have you ever seen these right-wing people be like, oh my god, this song, you know, like the one that just came out, the Rich Men of, like, from whatever it is, you know, I've heard it. They're like, oh my god, it's like the #1 song. Guys, do you know what they're using to determine what the #1 song is? iTunes downloads. Not Spotify, not Apple Music. They're using MP3 sales like it's 2005. So if you ever hear that, just know they're full of shit. They're trying to make up a metric by which they can claim that they're winning hearts and minds. They're not.
One song. He's done more with one song than anybody has done since Martin Luther King.
Oh, woof.
Those are just facts, people.
It's not. Wow.
America loves you, Oliver Anthony. And so do I.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. What stupid shit is Steven Crowder talking about? How's this divorce going, by the way?
And I think it's important to find something real. It's something that I still believe, something that I want, by the way. This is also why.
Thanks, Unknown Outcast. I did get your DM. I know you sent me something on Discord, so I did see that. Thank you. You just got here and you're mortified? Good.
Especially looking for something real, we are now going to announce the Win a Date with Steven Crowder sweepstakes.
Oh my god, is he really doing this? Holy fucking shit. This is pathetic. Oh my god. Kitten Cupcake says, I missed the old Peter content. Peter's conspiracy stuff was so hilarious. I hope he's okay. I seriously wanted Human to get help and have his family taken care of. I've talked to him recently. I don't know. I don't know how he's doing. He's been pretty vague.
Put me in charge, baby. It'll be a Tess Holiday lookalike contest.
So send your resume, and by the way, of course, no pornography. Though tasteful erotica is tolerated.
Nope.
Lizzo's not busy.
To date Steven at louderwithcrowder.com. That's date Steven at louderwithcrowder.com. Again, looking for something real, meaningful relationship. As long as you have a BMI that's between anorexic and morbidly obese, between the ages of 26 and 38 years old, if you're okay with a man who's pretty boring outside of work, my only hobbies really include family, food, film, and reading.
And abusing your family emotionally. That seems like a big one. Discordant Vol says the new level of hell unlocked. It's like DLC. And Harold Elwoman says, the dumbass in red a while back was Alex McFarland. He and another guy host a Bible explainer radio hour on the American Family Association Christo-fascist hate group out of Tupelo, is that Minnesota? Radio network. If you want to suffer his content and so many more dumbasses, there's a link. There's my source of tinfoil and chuddery when I'm all caught up on streams but need more garbage. Thank you.
I like the beach, but not long walks on them. But I make up for it.
Is that a joke? What was the joke? Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I don't consider myself the funniest person ever, but, like, I get jokes most of the time. Is it just because, haha, it's funny because that's a trope, but normally you say you do like long walks on the beach, but this time you said you don't. That's the whole joke? Holy shit.
For this by being tall.
Wow, 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 wow. Interesting.
Hometown.
I don't think that was what I wanted to watch. Watch that.
And into these libturds that are deflecting on Trump and ignoring the profound crimes of this illegitimate and corrupt administration.
What crimes?
You people are either delusional and chumps for a political class that doesn't give a fuck about your ideology.
Projection.
Not to mention, either that or you're working for the DNC or the CCP.
That's true. I get paid by the DNC to shitpost. It doesn't pay very well.
CCP or the WEF, bitches for Klaus Schwab, and you're totally indoctrinated. Get the fuck real, or we'll see you downrange at the Big Revolution Part 2.
See you there, Granddad.
Okay.
Make sure you bring your oxygen tank.
Okay, so you gotta be fucking delusional or TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Get some fucking help.
Why is it that half the time these people calling for some sort of armed insurrection are clearly people who, would do very badly in armed conflict? To be clear, I know I would too. I am not a fighter. I am a talker, okay? I put it all in charisma, okay? Strength and endurance are my dumb stats, okay? Can't fight for shit, okay? But I'm also not out here, trying to say, I'm gonna fight in a fucking... Ridiculous. The impotent rage. It shows.
I'll remind you again.
Tactical force, Grandpa?
Communists.
What?
Eliminate their political rivals. In any way they can, they neutralize them. So if they can't do it with the indictments and all that bullshit, they'll take it as far as they have to take it.
I feel like it would be easier. If they just wanted to get rid of Donald Trump, which I am not advocating for, as per Twitch TOS, I feel like it'd be way easier than that. I feel like they'd just, have the McDonald's he gets food at, put, rice in or something in his fucking Big Mac. Just honestly, I think if you were nefarious and your whole thing was I need to stop Donald Trump, I have ultimate power because these people think there's a secret deep state that has super secret power. It wouldn't be that hard, really. Gnome Pickle says, watching Grandpa threaten to shoot his opponents reminds me of watching my grandfather try duck hunting and launching himself into the lake with the force of his shotgun's recoil. Sounds like a fun memory. Stone Corbell says, I feel like this dude is trying to hypnotize me, and H-Baird says, I miss the Earth Hungers for Blood era of Chud talks. Discordant Vol says, we can't do anything to his body that can compete with his diet. True. Hydrate.
You heard what I said, right? I said...
It makes your video much more legitimate if you put spooky music over it, by the way. It really shows the strength of your arguments when you feel the need to highlight them and make them eerie with generic horror filler sound.
Okay, TikTok. So, I just want to talk about how the left is sitting there saying...
Is she drunk? Like, I'm not gonna make fun of that. You guys know that I'm sober several years, but holy fucking shit, that's sad.
That articles of impeachment against Biden is just nothing but a clown show because there's no real facts.
Don't know that much about it. If you have anything to charge Biden with, do it. I don't care. I'm not a hypocrite. If a politician or anyone has done illegal shit, do something about it. The whataboutism doesn't help here. Trump probably did a bunch of illegal shit.
What? There's no real facts. Are we on the same planet?
Probably not. Dr. Gamble says because no capitalist has ever eliminated political enemies and seized total power over something.
We listen to the same hearings. There's more than straight facts. And unlike the Steele dossier against Trump, the Steele dossier was a crock of shit. And that was proven multiple times.
Can't say that. Can't wish violence on people, chat. It's like one of the it's like the one rule. Don't wish harm on people. It's Twitch TOS. I always have to stop it.
I really don't care what your thoughts are about Donald Trump. You can like him. You don't have to like him. It really doesn't matter. But what is happening to him right now?
This is so funny when I've seen this lately. They're like, anytime like the right tries to be like, come on now, people, can't we just all agree on something? It's like, no! Your entire political identity is about being contrarian. What are you talking about? The second things start going bad for you, all of a sudden you're like, oh, can't we just come together? No! Fuck you! Your ideas are bad. Discordant Vol says, ma'am, it's a Democrat administration. Only gay facts matter.
It's so unconstitutional.
Where in the Constitution does it say you can't indict a former president for alleged felonies? Nowhere. You're allowed to do that. It's not unconstitutional.
It's infringing on his rights.
Which rights? He can still run for president. There's no law that says you can't run for president from prison.
But it's...
Or during trial or whatever.
It's also infringing on Americans' rights.
Actually, that's one of the things he's charged with. Conspiracies against rights. Fun fact.
On our rights. Because if they can do this to Donald Trump, they can do it to you and me.
Yes, don't commit allegedly 90-plus felonies involving conspiracies, etc. Probably not a great thing to do. You will get caught.
We need to wake up. We need to start standing up and saying, you can't do this. This is unconstitutional.
With your vast legal knowledge and the fact that you've definitely read the Constitution, I totally believe that. What about it do you think is unconstitutional? Like, it's interesting to me she has not said a specific. It's just very general. This is unconstitutional. It's like they think the word constitutional or constitution are like binding runes. They don't understand that it's an actual legal document that says specific things. Just if you gesture towards it, they think they win the argument. Kitten Cupcake says, Hannah, I have to go to sleep so I can open Starbucks tomorrow. Literally crying. Hope you have a good stream. Good night. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you sleep well. I hope work gets over quick for you tomorrow. I know that's not fun. I used to have to open at my job too. Gitara says, if they can do this to him, they can do this to you too. Ma'am, I'm not rich enough or important enough to commit these crimes. Terradona says, then go and get hired as Trump's lawyer. Honestly, she might be one of the few people who would accept.
The only reason they're indicting this man is because he's winning in the polls.
No, and he's not winning in the general. Last thing I saw was an AP poll that said like 62% in favor of Biden versus Trump at like 48, which is honestly devastating in a general election. Elections in the United States are relatively close usually, within like 2 or 3 percentage points, if that. They've been even closer lately. Can you imagine if we have the general election and it's like Trump v. literally anyone, whether it's Biden or Kamala or whatever? Probably going to be Biden unless, you know, something unfortunate happens before the election. I don't know, just weird. Let me see. Fennick says, but Hannah, it's always the left stirring up trouble, always trying to change things, saying we can do better and think about other people. They want to be selfish pricks and not think about how their lifestyle hurts others. Why won't we leave them alone and let them be selfish pricks?
He is killing everybody in the polls.
Except for Biden.
Republican and Democrat.
Nope.
Independent, doesn't matter. Donald Trump is leading by...
That's actually hilarious, by the way. Like, Trump is, honestly, he is most likely going to win the nomination unless there's crazy upsets. Like, it's gonna be pretty fucking funny. This whole thing's horrifying, don't get me wrong. Everything to do with Trump in the current political situation is horrifying on an existential level. But, like, in terms of existential horror, it's kind of a funny version of it, you know what I mean?
Great margins.
Like, it's kind of like a Black Mirror episode. Like, it's horrifying, and you're full of dread, but also like, haha, it's kind of funny how fucked up this is, right?
And it's freaking them out. So the only thing they have on him
are all the crimes he allegedly committed. Kind of seems like a big thing to have on someone running for president. Gnome Pickles says, Donald Trump is killing in the polls we took at the Trump rally, so you know you can totally take that to the bank. And Fennikagami says, ma'am, even if they are trying to stop him from running with these trials, that doesn't mean he's innocent. The trials are going to be interesting. 36% to level 1 on a hype train.
Is nothing. They're, grass.
What did I think of the new Black Mirror episodes? They were okay. They were better than the last seasons, I think. The first episode was good. The paparazzi one was a miss for me. Like, it would be fine if it was on a different show, but it just did not feel Black Mirror to me at all. It felt like an episode of Creep Show. But overall, I liked the season. Kind of seems like Charlie Brooker's sick of writing sci-fi, though.
Being anything they can get their hands on to try to stop him, but it's not going to hold water. This isn't really about Donald Trump, guys.
It is.
He's in the way.
Oh wow, you're literally just repeating the thing he said, almost like you're fucking stupid. Weird. GamerG says, new consent order for Trump's bail bond. He's gonna break this so fast. Page 2? Let's see. Defendant shall perform no act to intimidate any person known to him or her to be a co-defendant or witness in this case, or to otherwise obstruct the administration of justice. This shall include, but is not limited to, the following. The defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against a co-defendant. Oh, he's already fucked. The defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against any witness, including but not limited to the individuals designated in the indictment as an unindicted co-conspirators, individual 1 through individual 30. The defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against any victim. Defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against the community or to any property in the community. The above shall include, but are not limited to, posts on social media or reposts of posts made by other individuals on social media. Glad they put the reposts. I think he thought he was being sneaky by reposting people. I'm glad they put that in there specifically. Fenekigami says, remember guys, she's one of the free thinkers. Low Tide Ninja, thanks for gifting a sub. Scornant Vol says, Garfield looks at the sign meme, and Gnome Pickles says, I found footage of the Republican Party chairs summoning a new candidate for Trump's VP pick. Oh, God.
Then let our polluting powers combine! Super radiation! Deforestation!
Isn't Acid Rain one of them? A very 90s villain.
Smog!
Smog. Hate. For some reason, I thought there was Acid Rain. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs, getting us over another level of the hype train. Or over level 1, rather.
Your polluting powers combined, I am Captain Pollution!
Maybe I'm a basic bitch, but I really like the trope of superhero villain that is just literally evil version of superhero. Like, I like Bizarro, I like Reverse Flash, like, I think that's fun.
He's in the way, and he's trying to protect the American people, so they're gonna...
How so?
Do everything they can to stop him. This is about the American people. This is about you and me.
It really isn't.
Because
Wario.
if they can do this to Donald Trump, then they can do this to anybody.
Yes, Razelmer too.
Wake up. Pay attention. This isn't about him.
It literally
is.
It's about him. You haven't been indicted. Bumble Homestead says, Sulf, whatever that means. 38% to level 4. Oh, he's got the hat and everything.
All right, America. It's going to take some major convincing to get me to believe at this point that Jack Smith is not working directly for the effort to expose the highest levels of corruption.
Oh, you think it's a double cross. You think Jack Smith is a secret Trump agent. That's not how any of this works.
And within our government. This is no coincidence. There's no way that this is an official, formal process playing out of indictments being leveled at Donald Trump.
Oh, we're straight up in the denial stage for this guy. That's interesting. Fenekigami says, to be fair, mirror characters can cause great character dialogue. Yeah.
There's no way that this is...
What would Evil Universe Hannah be like? Full-on Chud grifter in the closet piece of shit. With a goatee and an eye patch.
Is not being used to set up a roadmap for discovery and for information to be entered into the system. Just listen to this timeline. On March 17th, Hunter Biden accidentally admits, through a filing from his attorney, through a cease and desist letter, that the laptop that was at that computer repair store was in fact his.
I'm going to press X to doubt.
On the very next day.
Isn't Evil Hannah just Blair White? No, I feel like Evil Me wouldn't have transitioned, because I feel like in order to explain the evil, I need to really be holding something back and lying to myself.
Donald Trump announced
reverse Catmate outfit, like white with black accents.
Is that he has just been notified that he's going to be indicted. And then on June 8th, the day that we find out about the FBI FD 1023 form that alleges that Joe Biden received a $5 million bribe.
Okay, if you can prove those allegations, arrest him, indict him. Great. Put him in front of a grand jury. What does this have to do with Trump? What, would Evil Hannah be a dom? Probably. That would be uncomfortable. Holly, thanks for gifting a sub. Appreciate it. A couple subs. Fenekigami says Blair is more like Joker to your Batman. I guess.
From Burisma, for his efforts to get a prosecutor fired who was investigating corruption of that energy company. And the very next day, the Mar-a-Lago indictment comes down.
You guys are talking about shit you think Biden does every day, though. It's not even a clock argument. It's not a broken clock is right twice a day. It's literally just like you're saying, look, every day I say it's a time, and today it is a time. You always think that's happening. Not exactly impressive.
And now we have...
Holly, thanks for gifting another sub. Level 4 complete.
August 31st, Devin Archer giving written testimony to the House committees that's investigating all of these matters, ties Joe Biden directly to Hunter Biden's global crime ring.
If you're running a global crime ring, do you have time to do a bunch of drugs and have sex with, like, sex workers in really nice hotels where they give you foot jobs while you eat pizza? Because that's what I've seen him up to. Marcus, thanks for gifting a sub.
Through several...
Oh, and when will they get it through their heads we don't love Joe Biden like they love Trump? It is interesting. It is interesting how they view this. Kiamet AQ, thanks for subscribing.
Different connections. 20 phone calls that Joe Biden was brought into to sell the brand. Confirm the allegations that Hunter Biden was given $3.5 million by a billionaire Russian oligarch.
Okay, if you can improve illegality, do something about it. The whataboutism has nothing to do with what Trump has done. What is with these people?
Several other accusations.
It's such a sidestep. It's crazy.
Throughout that, and the...
So for those of you who are all up in arms about this latest Trump indictment, it's actually a good thing, guys. You know that Trump has so much proof, evidence that the elections have been stolen. Matter of fact, for the last 30 years they've been stolen. But
conveniently, like the last 20 years, there have been no Republicans that have won the popular vote at the presidential level, except for right after 9/11.
At his elections, he had actually watermark ballots and...
30 years. I'm assuming she's thinking Reagan was the last legit president. I'm guessing she's into Reagan.
Software put in place to show exactly where the votes were coming from and what time of the day. Absolute proof. So this, he will get his day in court and he will be able to
Bush
prove
Sr.
that the elections were stolen. So we are watching a movie.
It's not. Life isn't a movie. If I could get one thing through to these people, it's that life isn't a movie. I love movies. You guys know I love movies. Everything behind me is a shrine to that. Movies are fun, but they're not real life. Real life does not operate like a narrative. Please stop thinking it is. It's led to so many people believing so many nonsense things.
We officially live in a communist country.
What do you even think that means?
You know it's happening when this tyrannical government is trying to put their political opponent in jail for his right of free speech.
Again, the indictment has nothing to do with his speech. It has to do with his actions, along with the actions of other co-conspirators. Secondly, Donald Trump is not running a campaign in the election versus the Department of Justice. Joe Biden isn't doing this investigation.
Good morning, Voice of Victory. This is
any of these, I should say.
Dave Schmeltz. Got a quick thought for all of you. If the Democrats continue in the DOJ to try to take Trump down, they're going to continue.
Famously, law enforcement agencies are full of lefties.
To bring problems in America.
Isn't the head of the Department of Justice someone that was picked by Donald Trump? Am I misremembering that? Was that not his appointee?
And they are going to cause a revolution.
30
you
seconds
cannot
left on the
take
hype train.
away 70 million people and not listen to what they have to say. This is a terrible time for our country.
You don't get to vote on whether or not someone goes to jail. That's not how this works.
And we need to wake up, folks.
And again, you can vote for Trump if he's in prison. I think you'll look like an asshole, but you can do it.
Because what they're going to do is cause this country to split by what they're doing. It's got to stop. We've got to come together. Listen.
We have to come together, but specifically to my side.
Go after Biden for what he's done.
Thanks for the hype train, everyone.
Don't go after Trump, because he hasn't done anything compared to what Biden has done.
Compared to? That implies that even you think Trump has done stuff. That's interesting.
Biden has stolen from the American people.
How so?
He has made profited off of the American people.
Trump never did that.
He's profited off of his office. He is a crook. We need to do something about it. I hope that you're listening. This is Dave Smeltz with the Voice of Victory podcast.
The Voice of Victory podcast. Genius.
I don't even know why I'm making this video, because you're gonna fucking report it anyways, because that's the kind of people you are. Don't bite what you can't chew. It might end up choking. Well, I don't know. Who's gonna
Derp says, I'm doing my part. Thank you.
Choke on what? I mean, your mom chokes on my red, white, and blue fucking zucchini. I mean,
what?
I mean, I've seen her do that before. You gonna put me in a pond? No, buddy, I live on the chain of lakes down here in Florida. There's a lot of hungry gators down here. Good luck with that, and have the day you deserve. And
what is this internet threatening each other thing? How pathetic.
No, you guys don't get it. Every time you come up with something to put him in jail, he gets away with it. Because he didn't do anything.
The trials haven't happened yet. What?
Every fucking...
Does he think the trials are done? What?
Indictment that's come out has gone.
No, it has. What? Are people under the impression on the right that the indictments have ended in some way? Do they not understand that court doesn't work like Law and Order? The trial doesn't happen like all in one day, like a week after the indictment? Really? Oh my god, these people are so dumb.
Flat on his face. Look at what's going on at the same time these indictments are coming out. Biden and Hunter. Every time something comes out about Biden and Hunter?
You literally think something comes out about them every single day. You're obsessed.
Trump gets indicted. Falls flat on his face, something else comes out about...
Again, they're not... It's like he thinks that him walking away from the arraignment is him being found not guilty. Holy shit, these people are ignorant. It's called immunity by congressional majority.
About those two? Trump gets indicted again. Falls flat on his face. How many more times?
Again, all of the post-election indictments, none of them have been adjudicated yet. None of them have gone to trial yet. What does he even mean?
Are you going to go after him for January 6th? You ever heard of double jeopardy?
What?
Can't be done. It's illegal.
You stupid bitch! Do you think that federal indictments are from the Department of Justice are the same thing as an impeachment proceeding? What?
Stop. He didn't do anything on January 6th.
He did. I saw it. We watched it live. He did.
You guys are watching little snippets of fucking videos and thinking that's the whole picture. That's not.
I literally you guys know, we watched it live. We watched for like 6 or 7 hours.
The whole picture. It's just like when you read the headlines on anything, either on here or in the newspaper or see it on TV. You read the headline, you don't listen to the whole story. Oh my God, that's got to be true. It's not. Stop. January 6th was already dealt with the impeachment.
No, it wasn't, you stupid asshole! Oh my god, he's so dumb! Oh my god. They're so dumb, chat. They're so fucking stupid and don't understand how anything works.
It was a trial, remember?
That's not a trial, you stupid asshole! Oh my god.
Double jeopardy.
They're so smug. They're so fucking smug.
Can't be done. Needs to stop. You guys are fishing for nothing. Hope your fucking hook comes back empty every time.
I don't think RICO charges are normally considered phishing.
Because that's what's happening. You're not getting anything because he didn't do anything. So, is Trump for prison? I say, dick for assholes, too.
Maybe PP Show can try and sell this dude their stocks. Maybe. They have a couple weeks left. Maybe a little more than that.
Here we go again. Surprise, surprise. Donald Trump goes to a Democratic city with a Democratic jury, with a Democratic judge, and gets indicted again.
What?
For nothing. How many?
You know, if you read the indictment, it would tell you what he's indicted for.
How many times have they done this? He got impeached twice, which now have been proven was all the Democrats.
What?
Democrats made this crap up, and you can indict a ham sandwich, is what I've...
That's, if you hear someone say that, know that they're fucking stupid. Like, I get it. I understand that being what they are, grand juries are easier to convince than a jury in a criminal trial, but that's because the standards are different. In an indictment, or rather, I'm sorry, in a grand jury, all you're doing is the prosecution presents their case to the grand jury, and the standard, I don't remember specifically, but it's basically, is this enough information to assume that perhaps these allegations could be true, and it needs to go to trial? So yes, you get more people who are indicted by a grand jury than people who are found guilty, because the first is a prerequisite for the latter. And the standards of evidence on the first are laxer, the standards of how sure you are laxer, because then in the actual trial, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. It just gets repeated a lot. They're trying to act like, oh, there's no reason. Like, oh, this means nothing. You think it means nothing that a former president's been indicted for like 90 felonies?
I've always heard. Well, I'm wondering why, is there not a legal avenue that Donald Trump's got for malicious prosecution?
He can try, it's not going to work.
Because it ought to be easy to prove.
Oughtn't it?
Because everything they're trying to get him on has been proven either false or they don't have any evidence.
Weird that you seem to think you know that before the trial.
To me, that's malicious prosecution.
I'm glad you're not a judge or lawyer. You're just some rando making a TikTok. Oh god, the picture behind him looks like the picture from that movie, The Witches, that the little girl got trapped in. Fenekagami says the funny thing is, Biden getting away with all their, quote, alleged crimes objectively means he's better at being president than Trump. It means he's better at manipulating the system and controlling, quote, the deep state, even though they want a strongman president. Under their logic, Trump is objectively a worse president. The difference is Trumps make their fifis feel good, and that's all they care about.
I hope and pray to God.
It does, right? I'm not crazy.
That people, we've got some good people running in the Republican Party for president.
Since when?
I hope they get together and say, you know what? For the good of the country, for the good of the party, it's not our time. Let's all drop out. Get behind Donald Trump.
Yes, let's all vote for the indicted former twice impeached president. Yay!
Trump. And push him to the White House. And let him take care of these evil, Satan-worshiping.
When you can't think of any real thing, blame Satan.
Assholes.
Would you rather think about things, or would you rather just blame Satan? Thinking's hard, and it takes work. Blaming Satan's free.
They need to get... They got to go. They're destroying our country. We don't have a judicial system anymore. We don't have a Justice Department. We don't have an FBI.
I hope the country that you believe in is destroyed.
We don't...
Because the country you want this country to be is dog shit. Reno Redhead says, he said you could easily indict a ham sandwich, but a ham sandwich would keep its mouth shut, wouldn't constantly post threats, and wouldn't tamper with witnesses.
Have anything anymore. The Democrats have weaponized every tool the government has to be the greatest country on the planet.
What?
We got to get behind him, people. You may not like him. You may hate him.
I think he's a criminal. Discordant Vol says, and what can you do about Satan? Nothing. You already lost, so you can relax.
His tweets. I wish sometimes I could take his stupid phone and throw it in the ocean.
All right. I think we're done for the day. Jesus Christ. These people. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. If you're from the raid and you liked what you saw, I guess you either must have or you're AFK. Give me a follow. I stream most days. I'll be back tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday, my favorite day of the week, where we cover all sorts of conspiracy theories, and that's always fun to debunk. We play conspiracy bingo. It's a lot of fun. So, hang out for that if you'd like. If not, I hope you had a good time either way. Love you too, Mr. Blast. For the Raiders, Mr. Blast is my father-in-law, for those who don't know. Let's see who we're gonna raid. Cirrus is going. Why not? Let's raid Cirrus. What's Cirrus up to? Oh, subathon. Perfect. Alrighty. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. I have had to pee for like half an hour. So I'm gonna go do that. And take off this goddamn maid outfit. Alrighty. Adios. Stay cool.